ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, good afternoon, whatever you want it to be. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Baldy-in-Chief David Reimer. Didn't expect to have another tornado warning tonight, so whoops-a-daisy. We're going to have a tornado warning. This is going to be for southern Montague County in North Texas. This could be a tornado in progress just east of the city of Bowie, northeast of Sunset, northeast of Fruitvale. This is going to be northeast of Highway 287, moving away from 287. Again, we don't have many storms we're dealing with, but we still have a few that are being rambunctious, and this one has gone very, very rambunctious. Clear, well-defined, low-level circulation with this, unfortunately. So again, those of you in southeastern Montague County, it's going to be over fairly rural areas, but eventually this may pose a threat to Cook County. Those of you northeast of Fruitland, Mullard, east of Bowie, northeast of Sunset, you need to be in a safe place. That'll be lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. So again, this is going to be a tornado warning now until 10:30. Southeastern Montague County. If this storm continues on its present course and trajectory, a tornado warning will be required for southwestern southwestern Cook County. The which way the wind's blowing mode, you can see it's a little noisy from this specific radar product, but I can tell you we do have a strong circulation. We got winds moving away from the radar in Burleson about 70 miles an hour, winds moving towards it about 70. So again, a pretty strong mid-level mesocyclone with this thunderstorm, and it's moving east at about 20 miles an hour. So those of you east of Bowie, east of Fruitland, northeast of Sunset, this is not an issue for either or any of those cities, unless you were east of 287, southeast of Highway 59. This is going to be crossing over FM 1655, west of Leo, southwest of Munster, west of Era. I'm going to actually pull up some data so I could see what we've got going on. But again, those of you northeast of Sunset on FM 1749 need to be in a safe place immediately. The possibility of a tornado in progress, again, pretty high with this right now. We need y'all to be in a safe place. Honestly, there might be a tornado debris signature with this. I'm looking for two different radars. Folks, this could be a pretty serious situation. I'm not going to say definitively because I'm not completely sure the radar beam's not having some sort of a mess up here, but I'm seeing the same signature from the Frederick radar and the Fort Worth radar. See, there very well may be a tornado down here doing damage east of Bowie, east of Sunset, east of Fruitland, just north of FM 1749, coming up on FM 455 in southeastern Montague County. This is going to be southwest of Gainesville, southwest of Munster, south of St. Joe, east of Bowie. We could have a possible tornado in progress moving towards Forestburg. Y'all need to be in a safe place now. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. This is an urgent call to action for Forestburg in southeastern Montague County. A potential tornado down. I really think there might be a pretty big tornado debris signature with this. You know, we don't have any visual reports out of the area right now. Meteorologist Jason Cooley's heading there. He's just past Windstar. I suspect he's either going to go down 82 and try to nitpick southwest of this or not. But, folks, there may be a tornado down here, and there may have been a big tornado here. I'll be honest. There is I mean, I'm really worried we've had a tornado debris signature here. And unfortunately, we're not going to know until one, someone gets a visual on this, or two, we hear about damage. But again, this thing's wound up really tight, and we could have a pretty bad tornado going on right now in southeastern Montague County, moving towards Forestburg. Eventually, this storm is going to move towards the city of Gainesville, Valley View, in Cook County. This storm will be an issue for Interstate 35, Highway 82. Again, those of you in Forestburg and eventually places like Roston, you need to be in a safe place. A potential tornado riding FM 1749 east towards the community of Forestburg. Okay, so Forestburg, you need to be in a safe place now. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Again, we're looking a little far from the radar, but I really don't like the fact we've at times had what might have been a tornado debris signature out here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was, unfortunately. Just looking at this, I think we have had a tornado east of Fruitland. We had debris that might have been lofted over 10,000 feet. So again, we might have had a pretty significant tornado down here in the last 10 minutes in southeastern Montague County. Again, we are in an area that just does not have great radar coverage. I mean, I see the debris signature from the Fort Worth radar and the Frederick radar over the last 15 minutes at times. There may have been a really big tornado down here. So, Forestburg, southeast Montague County, get your bun to shelter now. All right. Earlier today, I was mentioning if we had supercells after 8 o'clock up here, we would have problems. This could be a big problem. Understand, folks, the ingredients earlier were supportive of tornadoes, large hail. Ingredients now are extremely favorable for big tornadoes. So if this thing puts another tornado down, it could be a big one. So we need you to please take this seriously. I realize it's 10 o'clock at night. I realize, we haven't had a visual, any of that, but I'm really concerned we may have had a big tornado down in southeastern Montague County over the last 15 minutes. That debris signature, I'm not seeing it now. I'm not completely sure it was a valid debris signature, but I saw it off the Fort Worth radar, the Frederick radar. Out of curiosity, I wonder if the Durant radar is close enough to this. But again, those of you in Forestburg, wrong part of the state, you need to be in shelter now. Forestburg and Fremont, you need to be in shelter now if you're in southeastern Montague County. This thing is capable of producing a tornado at any time. Meteorologist Jason Cooley's heading that way now, so we're going to get video from him. He'll be in ear in about 30 minutes or less. So we'll get a view of this thing coming in from the west, but this thing's wound up tight. This thing's got attitude, and this thing definitely has the potential to be a problem. All right, I'm going to look from this. In fact, I wonder if we're in range of the TDFW radar. We might be. I might be able to show you that. But again, this thing really has strong rotation. So, and it's moving east. Kind of east-northeast. Let's see. Yeah, it's moving almost due east right now towards southern Grayson County, or southern Cook County. We have a storm over I-35 south of Gainesville right now. That could be causing flooding on the interstate, all that nonsense. But again, if you're in Forestburg, we need you to be in a safe place. I'm hopeful this might pass just a little south of Forestburg, but anyone around Forestburg, down to Greenwood, you need to be in a safe place. Down to Roston, Greenwood, Forestburg, southeastern Montague County, and eventually into western Cook County. You need to be in a safe place. The lowest floor, center room, away from windows, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Again, this is a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado at any time, southeast portions of Montague County. This is not an issue for 287. This isn't an issue for Bowie. This isn't an issue for Sunset or Fruitland. This is an issue for places like Era, Leo, Forestburg, in southeast Montague, southwest Cook County. Meteorologist Jason Cooley, you can see he is coming into Gainesville now. And we're going to have a tornado warning for Cook County that will include the city of Gainesville. Stand by for that.
A new tornado warning has been issued for Cook County in Texas.
All right, this is going to be a dangerous situation. A supercell capable of producing a tornado is located near Forestburg in southeast Montague County. This thing has an extremely strong velocity signature. All right, I'm not going to, sugarcoat this. There could be a big tornado coming out of this thing. Big, bad, and very mad. Y'all in Cook County, Munster, Leo, Era, Valley View, Gainesville, Lindsay, Mira, Highway 51 going southwest out of Gainesville. You need to be in a safe place. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows, now. All right? Don't play with this thing. This thing's got attitude. This thing is in the dark. It's not the greatest terrain to see it, and it may be rain-wrapped. If we get a tornado down with this thing, it could be big, bad, very mad. So again, what could be a strong tornado trying to develop southeastern Montague County near Forestburg. This storm is moving due east right now towards Cook County, moving east at about 30 miles an hour. This is a tornado warning for southeastern Montague and Cook counties in Texoma, North Texas. A possible tornado located near Forestburg, moving east at 30 miles an hour. This is a possible significant tornado. We're seeing indications of extremely strong rotation. This could be a strong tornado near Forestburg, moving east towards Leo, Era, Valley View, Gainesville, Lindsay, Munster, Mira. You need to be in a safe place now. We've got meteorologist Jason Cooley. He is heading southwest on Highway 51. He's going to go out of town, give us a view southwest of Gainesville here shortly. But again, this could be a strong tornado developing now. We have extremely strong velocities, like, potential velocities. We've got winds moving away from the radar at 75 to 80 miles an hour. We got winds moving towards the radar at 80, 150 mile per hour, gate-to-gate shear on this thing. And again, this could be a significant tornado if it's down. So, folks, we are hitting the button here. We are hitting the spaghetti-o alert. You need to be in a safe place. If you are anywhere near Forestburg, you should have been in shelter 10 minutes ago. You better get your butt in the shelter, because if you're not, this thing's going to try to launch you halfway to Sherman. Those of you in western Cook County, can you tell I'm using a relatively urgent tone here? You need to be in a safe place, especially if you are in Era, Leo, west of Forestburg, southwest of Munster, southwest of Lindsay, southwest of Gainesville, west of Valley View. Valley View, this tornado is still about 20 miles west of you. You've got some time. Leo, this tornado is about 8 miles west of you. This tornado is, in fact, here, I'll switch sources so I can just show you what it looks like off a higher res radar. Stand by. Let me see if I can get that to load correctly. It may not. If it doesn't, I won't show you. But it did. Again, here, tornado. You can see this is terminal Doppler weather radar right here. We're able to give you updates every 1 minute. This is just near or southeast of Forestburg. And again, this could be a significant tornado in progress moving east towards the Cook, Montague County line, west of Leo. Let me name some roads here. This could be on FM 922, northwest of Leo, very near or southeast of Forestburg. And again, we need you to be in a safe place. As things moving east, it may honestly be moving a little east-southeast. But again, we need you to be in a safe place immediately. This thing's got attitude. And again, let me try to get some roads on here for you. And again, we have one tornadic storm. This is it, right here. We're getting updates every 1 minute. You can see very strong velocity. We're using the terminal Doppler weather radar. It was installed after the Delta Lockheed 1011 crash back in the 80s in the Metroplex. Yeah. is that de-aliasing or not? That's a close call. But again, urgent call to action. If you are from Forestburg to Leo, southwestern Cook County, and I'll be honest, if you're north of Slidell and on the Wise-Denton County line, you need to be in a safe place now. This could be a significant tornado. All right, we don't have visual evidence yet. Storm chaser meteorologist Jason Cooley's heading that way. We're going to try to show you something, but again, if you're near Matlock Lane, New Harp Loop, I'm going to get on Google Maps and just start naming some things here. This could be a pretty nasty tornado. Please be in a safe place. If you are from Forestburg to Roston to Leo, this thing is on or very near FM 922. FM 455. So southeast of Forestburg now, between FM 922 and Roston and FM 455. This could be near County Road 362. And again, this would be moving towards Leo into southwestern Cook County. Northwestern Denton County, this is going to be a close call for y'all too. If this turns right at all, we're going to have a big problem. And again, let's switch back over to the Fort Worth NEXRAD radar. I'll show you what we've got going on. And I'll show you why I'm concerned. You see, this thing's got very strong velocities, well-defined low-level circulation. Again, this thing's actually got a strong circulation up to 60,000 feet. Oh, let's see if that might be a tornado debris signature. Stand by. Southeast of Forestburg to Roston. West of Era to Leo. Be in a safe place now. If you're near FM 922, FM 455, northwest of Slidell, southeast of Forestburg, you need to be in a safe place. Yeah, it's going to be a tornado debris signature. We've got a tornado down. All right, we could have what is a large damaging tornado now in progress between FM 955, or excuse me, yeah, FM 455, FM 922, southeast of Forestburg. We're now getting a tornado debris signature. That's going to be tornado debris lofted over 5,000 feet. We have winds moving away from the radar at 70 miles an hour. We have winds moving towards the radar at 100 miles an hour. We have 160, 170 mile an hour gate-to-gate couplet. We now have a tornado debris signature. Those of you in Forestburg, Roston, Era, large destructive tornado now confirmed by what does appear to be a tornado debris signature. The circulation is moving east-southeast. It may require a tornado warning for northwestern Denton County shortly. Time is now 10:04 p.m. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Baldy-in-Chief David Reimer. We got meteorologist Jason Cooley also heading down Highway 51. What could be a large destructive tornado in progress now southeast of Forestburg, approaching Roston, Era, southwestern Cook County, far southeastern Montague County. This storm is going to be dangerously close to northeastern Wise, northwestern Denton County. Tornado debris being detected by the Fort Worth weather radar. We've got debris up to at least 5,000 feet now. 170 mile an hour gate-to-gate circulation. Those of you in Leo, Roston, southeast of Forestburg, large, dangerous tornado in progress. Be in shelter now. This storm is moving east at about 30 miles an hour. Tornado warning is in effect for Cook County. And again, we have what could be a large, dangerous tornado in progress. We have a tornado debris signature on radar. We've got 170 mile per hour gate-to-gate circulation. Tornado watch now in effect for Denton, Grayson, Wise counties. Yeah, I'd hope so. We've got a tornado warning for southwestern Cook County. This does include the cities of Valley View, Gainesville, Lindsay, Mira, Era, Leo, Munster, back to Forestburg. Anybody in that area, get your butt in shelter now. We got a big tornado down approaching the Cook Montague County line. This is going to be just west of Leo, approaching Roston. You better be in shelter. We've got a tornado down. We've got a tornado debris signature. We've got, might be a debris ball. We've got a very strong circulation with this thing. Okay, we're going to let this scan come back around. Merry Christmas. It's a Monday. And yeah, guess I know the radar beam here is doing a little de-aliasing issues. It's fine on my end, but yeah, we have a gate-to-gate couplet. We have winds moving away from the radar now, 70 miles an hour. Winds moving towards at about 50 miles an hour. So we're down to about 120 mile per hour shear. But we could also, I mean, there's a tornado here in all likelihood. We still have a tornado debris signature. And notice we have a bit of an increased reflectivity pendage there on that hook. We could have debris being lofted over 5,000 feet. So again, let's switch to the terminal Doppler weather radar. This is a tornado warning for southwestern Cook County. Includes the cities of Gainesville, Valley View, Era, Leo, Roston. Be in a safe place. This is probably going to stay south of Munster, south of Lindsay, south of Gainesville. But if we do have a big tornado here, we might, when it begins to weaken, it may turn north, which is why y'all on 82 are in this warning. So again, it's 10 o'clock. It's the middle of the night. We have storm chaser, meteorologist Jason Cooley. He is heading south on Highway 51. He's almost to Era. Out of Era, he is either going to go south or west to try to give us a view of this tornadic circulation. And understand, this may be something that is down for a while. That hook echo is getting even more impressive. This is kind of the situation and scenario we were afraid of earlier when we said we could have supercells approaching I-35 this evening in a very volatile environment. And folks, this thing could have a big tornado down. We're not going to know about the damage for a while, but there is damage out here. I'd be willing to bet a good amount of money on it. So again, those of you in Leo, Roston, be in a safe place. Southeast of Forestburg, this thing is now about 4 miles southeast of Forestburg. It is not moving quickly. It's moving maybe 20 miles an hour right now to the east, east-southeast, right towards Leo. So if you are in Roston, you better be in a safe place. This is dangerously near Roston, moving right down towards the community of Leo. That's going to be southwest of Era. 334, 398, 379. You better be in a safe place if you recognize any of those county names. For what it's worth, we got a baseball-sized hail north of this tornado, where this hail core is over southwestern Cook County, far southeastern Montague County. Those of you in far northeast Wise County and northwest Denton County, including Slidell, I'd keep a very close eye on this. This thing may be moving more southeast. And again, we have what could be a pretty nasty tornado down in far southeast Montague County, far southwestern Cook County, about to hit the Montague-Cook County line. And again, this is the only storm that has a tornado warning, and it's big, bad, and it is very mad. Those of you in Whitesboro, Collinsville, you've got a storm with heavy rain, maybe some small hail. That's not tornadic. This one is. All right, we're going to switch over the terminal Doppler weather radar. That's not what I wanted. And you can see it's misplaced that by a good distance. I don't know why it does that from time to time. Stand by. But again, those of you in Roston down to Leo, you need to be in a safe place. Okay, Jason's going to keep going south on 51. If I had to guess, he is going to keep going south on 51 out of Era until it curves southwest, and he's going to try to get us a look back at this thing. So again, here's the terminal Doppler weather. That's not right. Why does that do that? It's got it displaced. There we go. Terminal Doppler weather radar data. You can see nasty hook approaching the Cook Montague County line. This is the reason I'm showing you this is it has updates every 1 minute. So this is going to be a tornado on the Cook Montague County line just north of Wise County. It's close. Those of you in Roston, you need to be in a safe place. Leo, safe place. Southeast of Forestburg, safe place. And for what it's worth, if you are, let's just say, I'm going to put Slidell on here, do this. If you are 10 miles northwest of Slidell, that's where this tornado is. So if you are in northwest of Slidell, you need to be in a safe place. If you are near Leo, west of Era, you need to be in a safe place. This is probably going to stay south of Gainesville for now, unless this takes a hard left. Jason, let me know if you're listening to me. But again, those of you in northwest Denton County, I'm going to go ahead and highlight if you're in this area, I'll be honest, y'all need to be on guard. Northwest Denton County, northeast Wise County. This big, bad, very mad tornado. I have little doubt we have a tornado down there, and it could be a big, bad, very mad one. It is currently moving southeast. Yeah, it's moving east-southeast. If it keeps up, it's going to make it into northwest Denton County, north of Slidell, north and west of, or west northwest of Sainer. Those of you in Era, those of you in Leo, those of you northwest of Slidell, be in a safe place now. All right, this is how this is moving right now. It's moving southeast. When it starts to weaken, it may curve north. It's moving southeast right now, but it's going to turn north whenever it starts to weaken. It's intensifying again. It may have gone through a failed occlusion, but it is definitely nowhere near being done. Be careful. Now, as the meteorologist Jason Cooley, he's well aware of that, but I'm just keeping him updated. This hook, I mean, this is not good in terms of problems. This is a very well-defined hook. Let me show you. Stand by. Look how this hook is so prominent here. It's not one of these hooks that's, wrapping back in or occluding yet. This thing is tighter than a tick's behind. It does not take a lot to pick a tornado out of this. So again, we could have a tornado down. This is about 5 miles northwest of Leo, specifically about 8 miles west of Era, 8 to 7 miles northwest of Slidell in far northeastern Wise County. That would be the intersection of 455 and 51. Be in a safe place. If you're in Era, you need to be in a safe place. It may have just turned left. It may have just turned more east. So again, this thing is not a good situation. We have a possible significant tornado in progress, southwestern Montague County. If you are in, let's give some folks some clear. If you're in Forestburg, you're clear. All right. If you're in Roston, this should be just to your southeast now. If you are in, and if you're northeast of 455, along 51, you need to be in a safe place. If you are in Era, you need to be in a safe place. Lowest floor, center room away from windows in a sturdy site-built structure. Mobile home, trailer, vehicle's not going to do it. You're better off trying to get out of the way of this thing or finding a neighbor's house you can take shelter at. Again, significant tornado possibly now in progress, very near, still 922. Between 922 and 455, north of Slidell, west of Era. We have a tornado now confirmed by power flashes and spotters. So again, we have a tornado in progress now, possibly a large, significant tornado in progress on the Cook-Montague County border. This will be unlikely to hit Gainesville or Munster or Lindsay, but if it turns north, it could be an issue for Gainesville. That being said, Valley View, Era, Leo, southeast of Roston, north of Slidell, north of Bolivar. Get in shelter now. Significant tornado. This is probably not one of these little baby ones that's down for 5 seconds and is gone. This thing's got attitude. So we've got, let's switch over to Jason's feed real quick, see if he can't see it. Wrong button, David. Okay, so what we're looking at here is the tornado. We're going to look for any power flashes. We're going to look for anything that would indicate we have damage occurring. Again, we have a report now of a tornado in progress west of Era, southeast of Roston, north of Slidell. We're going to be looking for here any sort of flashes near the ground that might illuminate a tornado. They're called power flashes, transformers, arcing, whatever you want to call it. We're just going to look for it. It's difficult at night, especially in more rural areas. There's not as much to hit, thankfully, but still. That's what we're going to be looking for in this live feed. Meteorologist Jason Cooley is southwest of Era, looking off to the west. Again, you can see how difficult and dangerous it is storm chasing at night. All you can do is try to see something with lightning flashes. Back to the radar we go. We'll keep up his feed. We'll keep a very close eye on it. Again, I know the velocity on here is doing some wonky things. Let me see if we can't clean that up a little bit. But again, strong evidence of a tornado in progress just northwest of Leo, about 8 miles west of Era, southeast of Roston. Moving east-southeast, more to the east now at about 20 to 30 miles an hour. Gonna do, we're looking at the which way the wind's blowing mode. See, there's your velocity. Cleaned it up a little. You got winds moving towards the radar. 80 miles an hour. Winds moving away at about 40. It's a little weaker than a minute ago, but still quite intense. You can see we have a well-defined hook echo. We're going to be keeping an eye out to see if Jason sees anything at this point while maintaining a respectable safety margin. Storm Prediction Center, National Weather Service is now indicating this storm is expected to persist for at least the next hour. The possibility of a strong to significant tornado will continue. That means those of you in northern Denton County, western Grayson County, pay attention. This thing could have tornadoes with it for at least another hour. All right? Be in a safe place. We're streaming live on everything. We're streaming live on the website. We're streaming live on the Texas Storm Chasers mobile app, or at least we will be in about 10 seconds. We're streaming live on YouTube, Facebook. We're streaming live on Twitch, X, whatever you want. We're streaming live on a lot of things. Could be a significant tornado still in progress now in southwestern Cook County, approaching Leo. This will then, after it approaches Leo, may encroach on northwestern Denton County. This thing is still trying to transition farther southeast, which could bring it into northern Denton County. We're probably going to have a tornado warning for northern Denton County, and that may include places like Sainer. This is trending closer towards Sainer and Valley View instead of Gainesville. It's moving more southeast, which means those of you in Sainer to Valley View west, that'll include I-35. You need to start getting ready. This could have a pretty nasty tornado down. And it may still have one by the time it hits I-35, anywhere between Sanger and Valley View. We don't recommend anybody go west of Sainer or Valley View right now. Again, we're going to be continuing to monitor the potential for a tornado in progress. All right. So we have probably a significant tornado in progress, southwestern portions of Cook County. You can see the velocity couplet's actually gotten a little more intense here. We have winds moving towards the radar at 85 miles an hour. We have winds moving away at about 25 to 30. Back to the how hard it's raining mode. It doesn't take a meteorologist or a weather weenie to see how much of a hook echo this thing has. This thing's got more attitude than I do when I'm having to pay my taxes, but this thing is moving southeast. Ignore that storm track. I'm going to turn it off. Here's what we're going to look at instead. This thing, I think, is moving like this for now. Now, at some point, it is likely going to turn due east, and it may even turn back north again. But this thing almost definitely has a significant tornado in progress. Again, I want you to understand, and those of you who've watched us for a long time know, I don't scream, uh-oh, spaghetti-o, unless I really think we have a big problem. And we got a big problem here. Notice I'm not being trivial. I'm not being, joking, casual voice. I'm using a more urgent tone to my voice here to make sure you understand we could have, and probably do have, a big tornado down with this near the southwestern Cook County community of Leo. This is going to be moving east-southeast towards Era, Valley View, and Sanger. We have a tornado debris signature now over Leo, southwestern Cook County. So again, we're getting debris lofted at least 5,000 feet now with this thing. That's what that is right there. It's not a super strong debris signature, but again, this thing has an attitude. So again, those of you in Leo, you need to be in a safe place. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Era, Valley View, frankly, all the way down to Slidell, east to Sanger. I would be in a safe place, tornado warning or not. If my family lived north of Slidell, if my family lived northwest of Sanger, I'd tell them to be in a safe place. Valley View, Era, Leo, north of Slidell, northwest of Sanger. You need to be in a safe place. They're probably going to have to put a tornado warning on this out into northwestern Denton County because this thing keeps moving southeast versus east. Storm Prediction Center, again, I'm just going to read you verbatim what they're saying. An intense supercell capable of producing a strong tornado is expected to continue for at least another hour over north central Texas. Recent radar imagery has shown a notable increase in intensity of the supercell over Montague and Cook County in far north central Texas. Echo tops are now over 60,000 feet with a very strong low-level circulation observed as well. Recent mesoanalysis estimates that effective helicity is over 800 meters squared. Okay, let's see what Jason has. Stand by. All the ingredients, folks, this is an extremely rare environment for a supercell to be in. The environment this storm is in right now is capable of producing monster tornadoes. That's the base level here. Those of you who know a little bit about weather, significant tornado parameter. Anything over 1 to 2 is significant. Significant tornado parameters are currently 16 to 18. The composite indexes are upper echelon extreme. So, what I want you to understand is, when I say we have a tornado here, it could be one of these really bad tornadoes. I'm not saying that to scare the pants off you. I'm not saying that to get views. I could care less about the views, to be honest with you. You don't see me having big old spam stickers on here being like, blah, 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 join membership, blah, blah, blah. I'll be honest, I could give two blippity-boppity boos about that right now and during severe weather coverage, but we could have a really big tornado with this, and this could be a bad situation, which is why I am telling you, if you are northwest of Sanger, north of Slidell, west of Valley View, in Era, south of Era, you need to be in a safe place now, all right? This is one of these very rare situations where we could have one of these extreme level tornadoes develop. And by extreme level, I mean the overall ingredients. If this thing puts down a sustained major tornado, it could easily be EF3, EF4 plus. That's what I'm trying to convey to you here. So please take it seriously. When I say you need to get out of your mobile homes, you need to get out of your trailers and go to a site-built structure or get out of the way, that is what I mean here. This is not a tornado you can survive if it hits you and you are in a trailer or a mobile home. You need to either go to a sturdy site-built structure or get out of the way. If you are in Era, Valley View, north of Sanger, sturdy site-built structure, no trailers, no mobile homes, no vehicles. If you can't get to a sturdy site-built structure, get south and get out of the way of this thing. If you are in Valley View to Era, but Era, you're almost out of time. Understand, you need to use common sense here and do what you need to protect the lives of your family. So again, this could be a nasty tornado. Back to the which way the wind's blowing mode. Stand by. And I'm not saying all this to scare the pants off you. I am simply trying to convey that this is not a situation where if we're going to have a quick little baby spin up tornado that's down for a minute or two, that's weak. If we get a tornado out of this again, and one's not already in progress, it could be a really big tornado. So again, if you're in Era to Valley View, you need to be in a safe place. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible now. All right, don't play with this thing. If you don't take shelter and this thing hits you, it's going to probably kill you. All right? This is not one of these little baby spin-up tornadoes that's going to take your roof off. This could be a tornado that tries to take your whole house off the foundation. So you need to be in a safe place and give yourself as many walls between you and the outside as possible. If you do what you're supposed to do, you're going to be fine. And again, this is not a situation that I take lightly. I'm not using this vocabulary and verbiage lightly. I'm usually trying to be the calm, collected head here, and we still are, but I need to convey to you this is a big problem. So if you are in Era, in Valley View, you need to be in a safe place now. Large tornado will be crossing FM 51 shortly near or just south of the community of Era. This is moving east. This is likely going to impact I-35 somewhere between north of Sanger and the city of Valley View. Nobody and their mama needs to be on 35 right now. If you know anybody going to Windstar, you know anybody going up to Oklahoma, coming back from Oklahoma, whatever, commercial vehicle travels, you need to tell them they don't need to be on the interstate right now, and by golly, don't be stuck in the construction zone. It's probably flooded already. You can see that hook echo is getting even more pronounced now. This isn't good. That's all I can say out of this, folks, is this isn't good. So again, we're going to be keeping a very close eye on this. This could put a sizable tornado down with substantial intensity at any time. Meteorologist Jason Cooley is right there. We're watching for it. We're watching his stream for any indications we have a tornado in progress. Again, the which way the wind's blowing mode, I mean, I know, I'm sorry, the velocity de-aliasing's being a pain. There you go. That would be near Era 455, moving east towards Interstate 35. All right, let's reset this radar real quick. I'm going to switch you back over the TDWR. That gives us updates every 1 minute. It'll let us see where this hook echo is. Jason's stream, we're going to be watching for here are any indications of power flashes, lightning illuminating a tornado, etc. So again, this is a serious situation. If you are in Era to Valley View, you need to be in a safe place now. And frankly, if you're near Sanger, north and west of Sanger, I'd say the same thing to you. Folks, this thing is, I mean, here's the latest radar. I mean, seriously, you want to know where the tornado is? Tornado is now probably on or just east of Highway 51, about 2 to 3 miles south of Era. This is going to be moving east towards either areas just north of Sanger or just near the community and city of Valley View. You need to be in a safe place now. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. We have multiple reports of power flashes, transformers going up just southwest of Era. That's going to be from a tornado. So again, we have folks seeing this tornado now near Era, far southern Cook County, far northern Denton County. So if you are in Valley View, Era, north of Sanger, you need to be in a safe place now. This thing turned southeast. I'm going to say this. I don't care if there's a warning or not. If I was in Sanger right now, I'd have my family in shelter. Sanger to Valley View, be in shelter now. No travel on I-35 unless you want to get lofted halfway to Durant, Oklahoma. No travel on 35 going north out of Sanger, south out of Gainesville. Nobody should be on that interstate right now. If you know anybody, call them, Tell them, get the
New
heck
tornado
out.
warning has been issued for Cook, Denton, and Grayson County in Texas.
Okay, this is going to be a tornado warning now. This is going to be for the city of Sanger, Valley View, New Hope, Krugerville, Aubrey, Pilot Point, Tioga. Possible strong tornado in progress now, 3 miles southeast of Era. This is going to be a tornado now 6 miles northwest of the city of Sanger, 6 miles southwest of Valley View. This is now moving east-southeast into Denton County. This is a tornado warning, the potential for a large, dangerous tornado. I'm using the big words, folks. This thing's got a problem with it, and it's got an attitude. It's going to be moving towards Lake Ray Roberts. You know anybody near Lake Ray Roberts, near the state park out there? They need to get to a shelter now. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows, put as many walls between them and the outside as possible. This thing's got an attitude, and this thing could put a big tornado down at any time. So again, those of you in Denton County, this is a tornado warning now until 11:15 p.m. A thunderstorm with a history of producing tornadoes is moving southeast at 30 miles an hour. This tornado will cross Interstate 35 between Sanger and Valley View. If you are in Valley View to Sanger, you need to be in a safe place now. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Those of you, nobody needs to be on 35 right now from Gainesville to the city of Denton. Loop 288 on the north side of Denton. Stop there at the Loves, the TA. Don't go north. Don't go south of Highway 82. First off, 35 is going to be flooding the construction zone. Second, we're probably going to have a tornado in progress approaching Interstate 35 in the next 10 minutes from near Valley View to Sanger. This thing has all the indications of big, bad, very mad problems here. So again, please do not be on the interstate. Valley View to Sanger. Get off. Get to a sturdy site-built structure or out of the way. Regardless, this thing could have a big tornado with it when it crosses the interstate. Even if we don't have a tornado down, we could have rear flank downdraft winds on the south side of this hook over 100 miles an hour. So again, be in a safe place. If you are in Valley View to Sanger, Tioga to Pilot Point, Aubrey to Krugerville. No travel on 35 between Loop 288 on the north side of Denton up to Highway 82. We could have tennis ball to baseball size hail falling on the south sides of Gainesville, down I-35 through the construction zone south of the Gainesville High School. That hail core will be crossing 35 in just a few minutes there. We have a possibility of a big tornado in progress now, maybe 4 miles west of Valley View. This is going to be moving east towards Valley View. Circulation is starting to jump back to the northeast a bit, it looks like. Even if we don't have a tornado down, we could have straight line winds over 100 miles an hour on the backside of the circulation. This thing is moving east-southeast at 30 miles an hour. So again, be in a safe place. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. This is a tornado warning for Cook County, southwestern Grayson County, northern Denton County until 11:15 p.m. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Baldy-in-Chief David Reimer, along with meteorologist Jason Cooley. A thunderstorm with a history of producing tornadoes in an extremely volatile and dangerous environment is currently moving southeast into northern Denton County. This thunderstorm may have a tornado with it, and it could be a big one when it crosses I-35 from near Valley View to Sanger in the next 10 minutes. Thereafter, this storm's either going to move east or southeast towards 377, Lake Ray Roberts, Tioga, Pilot Point, Aubrey, Krugerville. You need to be in a safe place. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. This thunderstorm is in an extremely upper echelon rare environment. We're seeing parameters that usually have produced, this could be a really big, bad tornado. That's what I'm trying to say. This probably won't be one of these little spin-ups that only takes a roof off. So again, we're seeing indications now of a tornado debris signature with this thunderstorm approaching Valley View and Interstate 35. And again, here's the velocity data. I know it's a little messy for you, but again, tornado debris signature, it looks like, with a tornado approaching Interstate 35. Whether this is one of these tornadoes that's down for a few minutes or down for longer, it doesn't matter. It could be a strong one. So again, We need you to be in a safe place. That'll be the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Stand by. Let's see if Jason has it. All right, we're looking for it in Jason's stream. He's traveling. I know it's just a black screen right now. We're looking for lightning flashes or anything that would show the tornado. And again, he's on FM 455 near Sanger. We're looking to see if he can see it. He's looking west, I think. All right, we're going to be... What was that? Okay, I see where he is. Is he already over 455 by the lake? No, I see where he is. He's west of Sanger on 455. Just west of Sanger, near the Wagon Master RV Park and Alpaca Farm. I've been there. The alpacas are cute. We're looking to see if he can see the tornado. It would be to his north-northwest. He is in a safe position. So again, we're looking for it. We'll go back to this. Again, he is just west of Sanger, right there, looking north-northwest. If there's a tornado, he should be able to see it. Now, whether the camera will pick it up or not, that's to be determined. But if we have something down, he should be able to see it. We've got a report of a tornado now. Okay. We got... oh, yeah, big tornado. We got power flashes. Yep, big tornado. Okay, we've got a large tornado down just west of Valley View. There's your video from meteorologist Jason Cooley. You saw those power explosions. Okay, so again, we've got a large tornado in progress. There you go. Those are transformers blowing up. We've got very strong velocity couplets. We've got major problems now. If you're in Valley View to north of Sanger, big tornado down approaching Interstate 35. Be in a safe place now. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. You saw that. We had multiple power flashes and some type of an explosion that might have been a larger... You see, folks, those are power flashes. Those are strong winds hitting power lines or debris. Okay, so that, you saw that. We've got big tornado down, approaching Interstate 35 now. We're going to go back to the radar with that up. Again, if you are on the south sides of Valley View to Sanger, be in a safe place now. Large destructive tornado in progress. Approaching Interstate 35 from the west. This is going to be a tornado that is down. Coming up on West Lone Oak Road. County Road 248, Interstate 35, just south of Valley View. Understand, those of you in Valley View, you need to be in a safe place now. This thing could pivot north and try to move into Valley View without prejudice. Please be in a safe place. Again, Valley View to north of Sanger, you need to be in a safe place now. We have visual confirmation of a large tornado in progress now from meteorologist Jason Cooley. Be in a safe place. We have a tornado debris signature now. This tornado debris signature may be going up to 10,000 feet. We've got major hail on I-35 between Valley View and Gainesville. All right, we're going to go back. I want to watch this carefully. It's better than looking at a bucket of spilled paint. I'm just going to talk over it. Again, we're going to look for the tornado. That is just city lights. I don't think that's the tornado. We're going to look for power flashes, transformers exploding, etc. Meteorologist Jason Cooley as at 455 and Interstate 35. That nasty traffic light that's still under construction at that intersection. He's looking north. He's just next to the QT. Powers... Oh, that wasn't power outage. Okay, you can see transformers. Power just went out in Sanger. So we just lost power in Sanger. Power's back. So again, we have a tornado down. Power is gone in Sanger. So you can see this tornado is knocking power out, not only near Valley View, but all the way down to Sanger. You can see that just took out his feed. So again, we've got a tornado down crossing I-35 between Valley View, just south of Valley View, to just north of Sanger. We just lost power in Sanger. That took out the cell signal. Back to the radar. Tornado right there. Let's switch back to the terminal Doppler weather radar. It is 10:41 p.m. on Texas Storm Chaser's David Reimer. We have a tornado down crossing Interstate 35, southern Cook County, northern Denton County. No travel on 35. South of Gainesville, north of Loop 288 out of Denton. 35 is probably going to be flooded anyway. We have a tornado very near Valley View now. It might be about a mile or two south of Valley View, but it is too close to call, near West Lone Oak Road, Interstate 35, about to move over the north sides of Lake Ray Hubbard. All right, let's go back to Jason's feed. Let's see if we can see anything. All right, stand by. He's pointing north off the access road. You can see all these people driving. This is how people get killed. I'm not going to go on a tangent about it right now, but again, violent circulation on Interstate 35 now at Lone Oak Drive. Tornado debris signature. We have a tornado. In all likelihood, you're going to see that here in just a second with either power flashes or something. Unfortunately, we're probably going to have vehicles lofted off the interstate right where this cross near Lone Oak Road or Lone Oak Drive, just south of Valley View, north of Sanger, because we've got folks driving like it's just another leisurely day in the thunderstorm department. But again, tornado now, I-35 near Lone Oak Drive, Lone Oak Road, north of Sanger, south of Valley View. Folks, don't take shelter under a bridge. It's not going to help you in terms of a tornado. We're going to have to go over that science lesson again. All right, we're looking for it. Again, it's the middle of the night. The only power flash, only way we're going to see this thing is if it is illuminated by lightning or we have transformers explode again. We've got very strong velocity signatures just south of Valley View. This will be moving east on Lone Oak Drive. Oh, I hope this doesn't hit that travel plaza. This might be at that really big travel plaza south of Valley View. Lone Oak Drive, you know that big travel plaza on 35 there at Lone Oak Drive? Let me tell you what it's called. The RV guys, you know, the big shell, all that. That might be crossing right there. So again, we're going to have to see. You can see traffic stopping. That's going to be the newish gas station north of Sanger by the Walmart Distribution Center there. You can see there's no power there. There's no power at the Walmart Distribution Center, north side of Sanger, that big warehouse, east side of the interstate. This is going to be moving east towards west and north portions of Lake Ray Hubbard. I'm sorry, not Lake Ray Hubbard, Ray Roberts Lake. So again, notice the power's out. So we're not going to see this from power flashes because the tornado already took out the power grid up here. Power's out in Sanger, power's out in Valley View. We've got no power anywhere in between. We're probably going to lose more power in northern Denton County. Back to the velocity mode. Here, let me show you while we go back here again. This is Lone Oak Drive right here where that big old travel plaza is. Big tornado debris signature now. There's a big tornado crossing 35 where that big travel plaza is, where 35 at the Cook-Denton County line kind of curves northeast. That used to be where the speed limit went from 60 to 70 miles an hour like 10 years ago. Now it's crossing Lone Oak Drive just north of that curve to the northeast and north. You have that gas station there, the big old shell, the truck stop on the east side of 35. Velocity couplet, we now have winds moving away from the radar, 90, winds moving towards at about 80. This is now 160, 170 mile an hour, gate-to-gate couplet. Large, damaging tornado on the ground just southeast of Valley View. This is going to ride FM 3002 east over the north sides of Ray Robert Lake. And that's going to move towards Ray Robert Lake State Park. This is an urgent call to action. If you are in Pilot Point, Lake Ray Robert State Park, be in shelter now. Big tornado riding East Lone Oak Road. That's going to be FM 3002. Just east of Interstate 35. You can see all traffic has come to a stop in Jason's shot. We've got a big tornado down at FM 3002, Lone Oak Drive, Interstate 35, Denton Cook County line. Moving east, you can see the velocity. This is pure violence. I know it looks like a bucket of spilled paint, but believe me, winds moving away at about 80. We've got winds moving towards the radar at 90. So again, this is a violent tornado. Understand, this is not a small, weak tornado. Be in shelter now. lowest floor, center room, away from windows. We have tornado debris being lofted at least 7,000 feet. Tornado likely now just east of the interstate, about to move over the north sides of Lake Roy. Too many lakes I have to deal with. Lake Ray Roberts. So again, just north sides of Lake Ray Roberts, just east of 35. This tornado's east of 35. Let's see if Jason can see anything illuminated by lightning or something. This is moving into northern Denton County. Those of you in Tioga, Pilot Point, Aubrey, this is going to be a big problem for you. Get to your safe place now. In a sturdy site-built structure, you've still got some time. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible, all right? We've got what is likely a significant strong tornado in progress here. This is a large and extremely dangerous tornado. We're watching for it on his stream. Here's the velocity couplet. And again, we have 170 mile per hour gate-to-gate shear. 90 towards the radar, 80 away. Debris ball, that blue donut. Again, that's a tornado debris signature. We've got debris being lofted probably 10,000 feet now. This is a nasty tornado. Again, we're just watching his stream for power flashes, lightning that illuminates it. Understand, most of the power up here in northern Denton County has already been taken out. So that's not going to be of help with the transformers going off. They're not going to go flashy if they have no electricity flowing through them anyway. We're going to look for lightning. We could have golf ball to baseball size hail. Cook County now from I-35 in the construction zone all the way east to 377 in Collinsville and Tioga. Big tornado in progress on Lone Oak Drive, FM 3002, over the north sides of Lake Ray Hubbard. Probably now Man Road, County Road 251, coming off the northern peninsula of the lake. Again, let me just show you the velocities. I know it's a little messy. Let's just go back to radar. Let me reset my end real quick. And again, let's just use the terminal Doppler weather radar. That's what we're going to do. We're just going to use that and give you the look of exactly where this is. I'm going to put as many roads on here as I can. Jason's going to have to go back. I mean, he might have to go all the way down to 380 to get back ahead of this. This storm, if it does not dissipate, will be a threat to western portions of Collin County by 1130. This thing's moving pretty quickly southeast. The potential for baseball-size hail, damaging straight-line winds, large tornado. We have a tornado debris signature. Tornado debris going up to 10,000 feet. Here's the radar. Again, this is going to be an issue. It's over north sides of Roy Roberts Lake. Moving southeast towards Pilot Point, Highway 377, Aubrey. Y'all need to be in a safe place. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Again, this could be a significant, strong, large tornado. I am saying this not to scare you, but to emphasize the urgency of this situation. Tioga, Pilot Point, Aubrey, you've got 10 minutes if that. Celina, Prosper, maybe Gunter, you've got maybe 25 minutes. 35 is going to be completely blocked for a while. We've probably had major damage near that truck stop at FM 3002 or Lone Oak Road. We probably had vehicles thrown off the interstate based on how much traffic we saw. Understand you need to be in a safe place now. If you are in Pilot Point to Aubrey, if you are on the east sides of Roy Roberts Lake, you need to be in a safe place now. Those of you in southwestern Grayson County, western Collin County, Gunter, Celina, Prosper on 289 or Preston Road, this thing's coming your way. And understand, it's still down. This could be there within the next 25 minutes. We're going to likely need to see a tornado warning for northwestern Collin County soon. Those of you in northeastern Denton County, Tioga, and Grayson County, Pilot Point, Denton County, Aubrey, Denton County, Krugerville, Denton County, 377 down to New Hope. Anybody along and north of 380 in Denton County, along and east of 377, and for all intent and purposes, all the way up to Roy Roberts Lake, you need to be in shelter now. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. This thing has had a history now of producing multiple significant strong tornadoes. That doesn't mean it's going to be completely down when it hits you, but there's a decent chance this thing's got attitude still. So be in a safe place. Large, extremely dangerous tornado. And again, this has done quite a bit of damage across portions of northwest Denton County, far southwest Cook County, into Montague County. This thing's been dropping tornadoes for the last 45 minutes to an hour. So you need to be in a safe place. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. If you're in a mobile home, a trailer, a vehicle, go to a sturdy site-built structure, 24-hour gas station, a hotel, a motel, or get out of the way. Tornado likely now over Roy Roberts Lake. Yes, it would be a waterspout right now. Let's see if Jason sees anything. You've got emergency crews responding. Okay, back to the radar. This is a tornado warning. Northern Denton County, Pilot Point, Aubrey, Krugerville, Tioga, and southwestern Grayson County. This possible tornado, which isn't really possible, it's been down multiple times over the last hour, is going to be crossing Interstate 35, or Cross 35, moments ago on the Cook-Denton County line. Okay, so those of you in northern Denton County, Pilot Point, Aubrey, Krugerville, north of 380, you need to be in a safe place. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Even if we don't have a tornado down with this thing, there could easily still be winds over 100 miles an hour in association with the backside of this circulation. Even if it's cycling, there's still damaging winds. All right, let's see what Jason has. He may be pulling up on damage north of Sanger. If he's where I think he is, he's near that truck stop. If not, he's further south. Yeah, he might be further south. They might just have the interstate blocked because of damage. 35 is probably not doing well. Why is there a car in a field? There's not. Okay, that was concerning for a second. Again, tornado likely still in progress, probably near the east sides of Roy Roberts Lake, about to move into Pilot Point. It's about to come over Roy Roberts Lake State Park on the east side of the lake, the Roy Roberts Nature Center, about to move into Pilot Point. You need to be in a safe place now. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Hard sole shoes, grab a helmet. That way, if you have debris flying around, your head's protected. If you have shoes, that way, hard sole shoes, if you have to walk over damage, you won't get cut feet. Those of you in Pilot Point to Aubrey, you've got 5 minutes. If that, you need to be in shelter now. Krugerville down to New Hope, you're probably going to be fine from this. Lincoln Park, you're probably going to be fine. This should go to your north. Celina to Gunter in Collin County, you're next. This is going to be an issue for you. So again, those of you in Gunter to Celina, you need to start moving to your safe places soon. You're going to have the possibility of a tornado moving into your area in the next 20 minutes. You'll have a tornado warning soon. Those of you in Valley View to Sanger, you're clear. Valley View to Sanger, you're clear. The worst of this is east of you now. 35 is clear from the tornado, but understand we may have flooding in the construction zone south of Gainesville. We may have a blocked interstate due to tornado damage or something around the Denton-Cook County line. This radar we're using is the Terminal Doppler Weather Radar out of Love Fields area. This allows us to get updates every 1 minute, which is useful when tracking that hook. The wind display, even if we don't have a tornado down, we're seeing winds nearly 100 miles an hour over the lake. This is probably going over the Lake Ray Roberts campground, moving southeast. And note, this thing has big hail. This thing could have tennis ball to baseball size hail with it. Damaging winds well over 80 miles an hour, and yeah, tornado. We'll go back to the Fort Worth radar. Again, here's the supercell. It's big, it's bad, it's mad. The hail's over southeastern Cook County, southwestern Grayson County. Could have baseballs. If we have a tornado, it is near Pilot Point. We know very strong damaging winds coming in on the backside of this circulation. Even if we don't have a tornado, we've got very strong rear flank downdraft winds coming in on the backside of this thing. We're going to have a severe thunderstorm warning for Cook, Grayson counties. That's for the hail and wind. Tornado threat near Pilot Point. Now, I'll say this. The circulation is less intense than it was. At least that is the way it looks right now.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Cook and Grayson County in Texas.
But there is still a lot of wind with this. And I mean, there still may be a tornado. West of Tioga, west of Pilot Point. So if you're, Tioga, Pilot Point, you need to be in a safe place. Anywhere near Roy Roberts Lake, you need to be in a safe place. If you're on I-35, you're clear. This is east of you. Moving away. Southern Grayson County, northwestern Collin County, southeastern Cook counties. Be in a safe place. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. If we still have a tornado down, it's about to either come off Roy Roberts Lake or make it all the way down to Pilot Point, Tioga in the next few minutes. Very, very large hail up on 377 in the next several minutes from Collinsville to Tioga. This is moving east, east-southeast at about 35 miles an hour. This thing's cooking and booking. We've got reports of power lines down, semis flipped over on Interstate 35 near Lone Oak Drive, FM 3002. So again, we have multiple reports now of power lines down over Interstate 35, semis flipped over at Lone Oak Road, FM 3002/2148, where 35 curves. Right here, I'll zoom in right here where it curves just northeast. It used to be where the speed limit went from about 60, 65 up to 70 to 75 before all that happened a few years back and changed. So we got damage right there. That's where the tornado crossed. We showed you it live with the power flashes for meteorologist Jason Cooley. This storm is now moving into northern Denton County, Tioga to Collinsville. You could have winds over 70 miles an hour, the potential for baseball-sized hail the next few minutes. If we still have a tornado down, it is probably about to be near Pilot Point. I can't say for sure we still have a tornado down, but we have very, very strong wind velocities here. We could have winds over 80 miles an hour in the rear flank downdraft of this thing. This thing's moving east, southeast at 35 miles an hour, meaning those of you in Gunter to Van Alstyne to Celina, Weston, Anna, you're going to have to deal with this. It's still moving more southeast. Maybe make that down to 380 and Prosper at this point. If this thing keeps trying to develop further south, this is going to move Pilot Point to Aubrey, just north of Krugerville, probably, maybe as far south as Prosper into western Collin County, but Celina to Gunter, you're under the threat of this. You may be under a tornado warning soon. Even if you're not, this thing's got pretty nasty, damaging winds with it right now. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, I still think we have a tornado back in here just west of Pilot Point over the lake. I know, we just went to that 70s mode. Give me just a second. So again, what we have going on right now, let me try to explain this. We have a nasty rear flank downdraft pushing out winds, could be over 70 miles an hour, down to almost Aubrey to Pilot Point. Tornado still over Roy Roberts Lake or over the campgrounds, Roy Roberts Lake, the state park. This is about to move into Pilot Point.
A new tornado warning has been issued for Collin, Cook, Denton, and Grayson County in Texas.
Okay, this is going to be a tornado warning. This is going to be a tornado warning for Grayson, Cook, Denton, Collin counties. Let's talk about who's in and who's out. If you're in this, you need to take action. If you're not, you're fine. This is a tornado warning. Northern Den, Northern Collin, Southern Grayson, Southeastern Cook County. Tioga, Pilot Point, Aubrey, you're in the tornado warning. Gunter, Celina, you're in the tornado warning. Van Alstyne, Anna, Melissa, north sides of McKinney, north sides of Prosper. Howe, you're in the tornado warning. A confirmed tornado is located over Ray Roberts State Park, Johnson Branch, 9 miles northeast of Sanger. This is a particularly dangerous situation. This is a confirmed tornado. You are in a life-threatening situation. Be in a safe place now. Tornado now maybe within a mile of Pilot Point, about to move off the lake, the state park, moving east into Pilot Point. And again, this remains a confirmed tornado. We need you to be in a safe place. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. We'll go ahead and loop this from west to east. But again, those of you in Sanger, you're clear. Valley View, you're clear. Aubrey, this is staying just north of you. Pilot Point, you need to be in shelter now. Those of you in Tioga, shelter now. Those of you in Gunter to Celina, you've got maybe 10 to 15 minutes. Tornado warning. Van Alstyne, Howe, Anna, Melissa, Weston, north sides of McKinney. You've got maybe 20, 25 minutes. Get ready to move to a shelter. In addition, this storm could have baseball-sized hail, damaging winds over 70 miles an hour. We've got damage on I-35 at the Cook-Denton County line, that truck stop just northeast of the county line, kind of where you curve. If you're driving north, you curve northeast real quick, then back north. You have the truck stop off to the northeast side of the interstate. Tornado cross very near there. We've got reports of semis flipped over. We got power lines down. I'm not sure if it took that Travel Plaza took a direct hit or not. But those of you in Pilot Point, we really need you to be in a safe place, all right? This thing still has a pretty nasty velocity signature. We'll switch back over. And again, the radar, this program's having an issue de-aliasing it. Let me see if I can't fix it for you. And there it is. I mean, it's clear as day. You've got winds moving towards the radar down in Fort Worth of nearly 100 miles an hour. You've got winds moving away at about 70. We still have 170 mile an hour gate-to-gate circulation with this thing. And it's probably wrapped back in heavy rain. This is about to move into the city of Pilot Point. Pilot Point, you need to be in shelter. If you know anybody up here in northeastern Denton County, northwestern Collin County, southwestern Grayson County, southeastern Cook County, make sure they know what's going on and make sure they're in a safe place. This will stay north of the city of McKinney unless something changes and it turns southeast again, in which case that's not impossible. McKinney, keep an eye out. Prosper, this should stay to your north. Celina, you're under the threat. Melissa, Anna, Van Alstyne, Howe, you're under the threat. This includes Highway 75, north of McKinney to near Howe. We'd advise no travel on Highway 75 between the city of Sherman and the city of McKinney. Don't go south of 82, don't go north of 380, problem solved. This includes 121, pretty much almost to Trenton. Down to Melissa, this includes Preston Road, 289, north of 380. It includes the Dallas Tollway extension north of 380. It includes 289 from Gunter to Celina. No one should be on 377, Preston Road 289, the Dallas North Tollway little access road north up to the Cook County line. No one needs to be on 75 south of Sherman, north of McKinney. Wouldn't recommend anyone try to go on 5 either in that area. Wouldn't recommend anyone goes on 121 southwest of Trenton to Melissa at this point. This storm's heading your way. Even if it's not producing a tornado by the time it hits 75, this thing still got a monstrous hail core, damaging straight line winds at the wazoo. And again, possible tornado coming off Roy Roberts Lake, about to move into Pilot Point. So be in a safe place. That'll be the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. The circulation, tornado moving east. at about 35 miles an hour, east-southeast. Hail core, Collinsville to Tioga, just north of Pilot Point. Tornado about to move into Pilot Point from the west. You can see the which way the wind's blowing mode. We've got winds moving towards the radar. Again, about 80 to 90 miles an hour. Winds moving away about 60. Still have 140, 150 mile an hour gate-to-gate couplet. That's a tornado. I realize that's just radar pouring in a bucket of spilled paint to most of you, but that is likely a tornado. So you need to be in a safe place. We're going to have to watch for indications of a new circulation trying to form farther east. Notice how we're starting to see a bit of a hook echo try to develop back out here east of Pilot Point. This would be where a new circulation would try to develop. At this point, we're not seeing it yet, but we're going to need to watch. Definitely a nasty circulation near Pilot Point, a convergence axis here. This is where we're having winds moving into the storm, winds moving out of the thunderstorm converge. We're going to have to wait and see if this tries to develop a new circulation, but if it does, it'll be farther east of 377, closer to Celina. But still, rain-wrapped tornado waterspout over Lake Ray Roberts about to move onshore into Pilot Point, if it doesn't dissipate first, but it is very, very close to Pilot Point. At this point, that circulation is only literally a quarter mile offshore, about to move right into Pilot Point. So, again, if you're in Pilot Point, you really need to be in shelter. And we're going to have to see if we get a new circulation on the leading edge where we have this new convergence band, confluence, and an inflow notch developing. Usually that means we're going to get rid of this tornado just west of Pilot Point soon if we're starting to go through the cyclic tornado process, which we are. So again, those of you in Pilot Point, hang on. Celina, Prosper, you need to move to your safe places. This is going to stay north of the city of Aubrey, north of Krugerville, north of 380. So far, Prosper, you're looking good. McKinney, you're doing okay. Celina, not so good. You need to move to your safe place. Same thing for Gunter. Same thing for Weston, Van Alstyne, Anna, Melissa. You need to move to a safe place. That'll be lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. This thing threw semis off Interstate 35 when it came in from the west. We got problems. So again, this thing is big, bad, mad. It's been putting tornadoes down left and right ever since it was back northeast of Bowie in Montague County in 287 an hour and a half ago. So again, this storm is moving east-southeast at about 35 miles an hour. This thunderstorm is capable of producing tornadoes, damaging wind, damaging hail. You need to move to your safe place. That'll be the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Hard sole shoes and a helmet if you got it. The shoes are for if you have to walk on debris after the fact, you don't injure your feet. The helmet's for if you end up having a tornado strike, you have something to protect your head. A lot of injuries from tornadoes come from cranial damage, so you need to be ready. All right, we just got an updated radar scan. Let's switch over to the velocity mode, see what we have. We'll get an update here in just a second. But again, those of you in Pilot, oh, that's not what I wanted to see. Pilot Point, really, you need to be in a safe place. This thing really does continue to show strong rotation very near Pilot Point, the state park, the Johnson branch of the state park. We're going to have to see if we get a new circulation starting to develop closer to Celina. I'm just watching that back to the which way the wind's blowing mode circulation there. But again, Pilot Point, winds moving away from the radar about 55. It almost looks like the circulation isn't moving that fast now. Winds moving towards the radar at 100. Again, we could have a big tornado about to move into Pilot Point. So please be in a safe place. That's going to be the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. This is moving right over the state park, the Johnson branch, just west of Pilot Point. It's going to ride 1192 right into town. Cross over 377 near 1192. Those of you up to Tioga, we want you to be in a safe place as well. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Again, it is 11:10. I'm Texas Storm Chasers David Reimer. We have a tornado moving into Pilot Point, northern Denton County, Highway 377. We've had a tornado move across Interstate 35 between Sanger and Valley View. We've had vehicles lofted and thrown off the interstate. We've had a tornado track all the way back to southwest of St. Joe, east of 287. Not necessarily continuous, but again, this thing's been putting tornadoes down left and right for the last hour and a half. Still very strong, capable of producing a strong tornado at any time. In addition, the potential for tennis ball to baseball size hail. This thing has storm tops of 70,000 feet at 11:11 at night. You have got to be kidding me. Again, make no mistake about it. The time of night is irrelevant. We are dealing with an upper echelon, extremely rare environment. We have extreme wind shear, extreme instability. We are dealing with a situation where we don't normally have storms in this volatile of an environment. Yeah, we do up in Kansas sometimes, and that's when they end up getting 2 mile wide tornadoes. Now, we don't have a 2 mile wide tornado in progress right now, thankfully, but we could have a pretty nasty tornado moving into Pilot Point now. Wrapped in heavy rain, wrapped in hail, damaging winds, tornado moving southeast slowly. We might have a new circulation starting to form a little further southeast towards Celina, near FM 455, maybe 5 miles northwest of Celina. That little new hook appendage starting to form. All right, let's go to terminal Doppler weather radar. Now, if this shows the wrong location, don't use it, but it looks like it's doing okay. Again, here's the velocity. Circulation, yeah, we do have a new circulation firing. Okay, so we're going to have two possible, in my opinion, two possible tornadoes now in progress. One, just west of Pilot Point. Two, I think we might have a circulation starting to develop farther east. This would be a cyclic process where circulation number 2, 455 east of Pilot Point, tornado number 1 still in progress, near or just west of Pilot Point over the state park. The velocity mode, yeah, it's still there. You can see it. We got winds moving towards the terminal Doppler weather radar off the Sam Rayburn Tollway northeast of 35E. Still there, northwest of Pilot Point, but we're also seeing a new couplet between Pilot Point and Celina. So those of you in Gunter, those of you in Celina need to be in a safe place. Those of you in Pilot Point, you need to be in a safe place. That'll be the lowest floor. Center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. So again, two possible tornadoes now. One, just west of Pilot Point. Two, just east of Pilot Point, moving towards Preston Road, Highway 289 between Gunter and Celina. Both of y'all need to be in a safe place now. Both of y'all, for both tornadoes, all of y'all need to be in a safe place. Tioga down to Pilot Point. You should have been in shelter 25 to 30 minutes ago when I started squealing like a pig. Those of you in Celina and Gunter, we've been talking about you for quite a while now. You need to be in a safe place. That'll be lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. I'm turning these lights down a bit. Hi, you get to see the Baldy-in-Chief head. It's very shiny. All right, I can actually see monitors without being blinded. That's nice. Okay, so again, tornado. The velocity mode, again, you can see we've got a pretty nasty circulation setting up. We got one just west of Pilot Point. We've got one now just northwest of Celina. And we're using the terminal Doppler weather radar. This is down near the Sam Rayburn Tollway, just east of the big dump hill of doom, the Colony. This updates every 1 minute. We're able to get very good resolution data from this. Those of you in Celina, you need to be in a safe place now. I think we have two tornadoes here. We've got one tornado very near Pilot Point. That thing is literally just sitting there. Unfortunately, it really is just sitting there on the lakeshore near the state park. Second new tornado developing now, I think, is going to be further east along FM 455, probably closer to, it should be nearer east of 1385 now, riding 455 down towards Celina. So those of you in Celina and Gunter, you need to be in a safe place. Those of you in Pilot Point, you needed to be in a safe place 30 stinking minutes ago. But if for some reason I'm just catching someone, here you go. Jason Cooley is about to enter Pilot Point. He's also about to run out of gas, it sounds like, so that's unfortunate for him. Hopefully he's coming in far enough south to get some gas. Okay, so Tornado 1 in progress, very near Pilot Point. This is where I think we have a second tornado starting to develop. The cyclic tornado process is where we have one tornado start to dissipate, turn north. So that may keep it northwest of Pilot Point, but closer to Tioga. Second circulation. Yeah, that thing is definitely trying to ramp up now. I think we have a tornado either in the initiation phases or already down, probably just north of Celina. So those of you in Celina and Gunter need to be in a safe place now. That's going to be lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. That was an unfortunate blip in the radar data. Those of you in Weston, Anna, Melissa, you're up next after this. Y'all are on 75. You're under a tornado warning. You need to take a safe place shelter as well. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. If you are in a sturdy site-built structure, if you're in a trailer, a mobile home, or a vehicle, that's not going to work. Either get to a sturdy site-built structure or get out of the way. You can see a lot of lightning now off Jason Cooley's stream. That's something we didn't have earlier. So that's a bit of an interesting note. Tornado debris signature, Pilot Point. So we definitely have something going on there. We're going to switch back to the Fort Worth radar. Stand by. The one I could show you this product off. I think that's probably a little bit of a tornado debris signature right over the eastern sides of the lake, right on the state park. That's where the velocity couplet is. That's where circulation 1 is. This is where circulation 2 is developing, where I think we might have our new tornadoes starting to drop. So again, tornado 1, very near Pilot Point. Jason's coming up to Pilot Point now. He is at 455 and 377. The fact they still have power is good. He's going to probably turn north on 377. We're going to get a look. Again, this tornado, if it's down, and I think it probably is, would be to his northwest, but probably wrapped in rain. And again, if it's over the state park, there's probably no power, so we're not going to see power flashes. But let's see if the lightning can illuminate. And again, second possible tornado now developing between Celina and Gunter, about 3 miles west of 377, moving east towards 377. You need to be in a safe place now. All right, let's take a look at Jason's screen full. And again, we're looking for signs of a tornado in progress. It would be to the left side of his screen. You can see Pilot Point has definitely had quite a bit of wind. You can see vegetation on the road. That would be from the rear flank downdraft. All right, we have a strong circulation firing up near Celina, near Gunter. So this is now going to be east of 377 approaching Preston Road 289. Gunter, Celina, you're almost out of time. Be in shelter now. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible now. All right, we're not playing with this thing. This thing's been dropping tornadoes left and right all evening. This isn't one of these situations where we think this thing could put a quick tornado down. This thing could put a really unpleasant tornado down. Let's put it that way. So again, new circulation developing very quickly near Celina to Gunter. Closer to Celina than Gunter. You need to be in a safe place. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows now. All right, here's what I'm talking about. Old circulation weakening near Pilot Point. That tornado, if it's not gone yet, will be soon. New tornado developing very quickly. Very quickly, north sides of Celina. It'll be crossing Preston Road, Highway 289, just south of Gunter. You need to be in a safe place now. Those of you in Van Alstyne, Weston, Anna, Melissa, you're next, all right? This is still moving southeast. So Celina, Gunter, Weston, Anna, Melissa, be in a safe place now. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Understand, this thing's been producing tornado damage off and on for the last hour and a half since it was back east of Bowie. We've got a tornado track all the way from parts of Montague County, Cook County, Denton County, and it's about to move into Collin County. Understand, this is a nasty-looking signature, what could be a significant tornado developing now. Again, please be in a safe place. I'm using my urgent voice here. You need to be in a safe place now. If you are in Celina, if you're in Gunter, if you're in Weston, if you're in northern Collin County, this is north of 380. Prosper, you're fine. McKinney, you're fine. Weston, you need to be in a safe place. Celina and Gunter, southern Cook County, be in a safe place. Those of you in Anna, Van Alstyne to Melissa, 75, you've got a little time, but not much. You need to be in a safe place. Understand, this is a dangerous storm that has a history of producing multiple tornadoes, strong tornadoes. And it could be producing another one now on 289 Preston Road, near or just north of Celina. This is moving east-southeast towards Weston, southern Grayson County. This could have baseball-size hail. Gunter to Van Alstyne to Howe. Moving off to the east, southeast at about 25 to 30 miles an hour. Okay, we've got... So again, Pilot Point tornado should be gone. At this point, that velocity signature is going away. Give it a second, it'll update on your end. We've got a very strong velocity signature now approaching Preston Road Highway 289 between Celina and Gunter. Y'all need to be in a safe place. That'll be lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. All right, here's the velocity data from the terminal Doppler weather radar right down the stinking road. You can see that hook, the velocity coming up right on to Preston Road, Highway 289 right now. Could easily have a tornado with this. Be in a safe place if you are near Celina. If you are near Celina, County Road 99, Mark Alexander Court, Grayson County line, south of Gunter. Be in a safe place. You need to be in a safe place if you're taking, or if you're east of Weston, which means FM 455 still. I don't know what this thing has with 455, but 455 from Celina to Weston, you're under the threat of this. This could be a tornado down. Move to a safe place, and eventually this is going to move towards Anna, Melissa, Van Alstyne. The potential for a tornado in progress about to cross Preston Road. We had a confirmed tornado back near Pilot Point near 377 with this first tornado a bit earlier. What the heck? We've got a tornado northeast of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Great, because who doesn't like dealing with this nonsense at 11:30 at night? You gotta be kidding me. Yeah, there's a big tornado northeast of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Okay, that's not our problem, but I note it because, well, I'm Baldy-in-Chief. I like to maintain situational awareness. Tornado about to cross Preston Road near 289, north of Celina by just a couple miles. Gunter, you're probably getting strong inflow with this. If you are in Anna, Melissa, Van Alstyne, you've got 10 to 15 minutes, if that. If you're in Weston, I'm going to give you 5 minutes. And you need to be in shelter already. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Here's the latest how hard it's raining mode scan. You can see we've got a well-evident hook echo. It doesn't take a weather weenie to determine that, spaghetti-o, we got problems. You can see rear flank downdraft wrapping around. Your tornado would be in this proximity right here, just northeast of Celina. Switch back over to the which way the wind's blowing mode, and the same thing applies here. Again, we're looking pretty close off the ground here. Let me press some buttons and I'll show you. Again, we're looking at, 1,100 feet. It's not that high. We're using a radar 20 miles away from this thing. You got winds moving towards the radar at about 60 miles an hour. You got winds moving away at about 50, 110 mile an hour gate-to-gate couplet. Northern sides of Collin County, just northeast of Celina. This thunderstorm moving east towards Van Alstyne, Anna, Melissa, and eventually maybe Westminster. Westminster dealt with an EF4 tornado, a good, that was what, 2006, 2007? Also pretty late at night. It was a bit after 10:15 to 10:30. Not saying that's what this is going to be, but just something that I remembered. So again, this is going to be a circulation. If you are in Pilot Point, Aubrey, you're clear. Tioga, you're clear. Krugerville, you're clear. If you're on 377, you're clear. If you're in Celina to Gunter on Preston Road 289, you are not clear. You stay in your shelter, or Baldy-in-Chief is going to give you a stern talking to. If you are in Weston, Anna, Van Alstyne, you need to be in a safe place. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Sturdy site-built structure only. If you're in a mobile home, trailer, vehicle, find a sturdy site-built structure, whether that be a 24-hour gas station, a QT, the Buc-ee's, a Love's somewhere, or a restaurant, hotel. That's where you're going to have to go, and you're going to have to do it now if you're in Anna, Van Alstyne. Tornado likely crossing over Preston Road. There you go. It might be just east of there now. Let me see if I can't get some roads on here. Again, this is now northeast of Celina, southeast of Gunter, moving east-southeast, 25 miles an hour towards Weston. I'm just trying to get some roads on here. But again, Collinsville, you're clear. Tioga, you're clear. Pilot Point, you're clear. Aubrey, you're clear. Celina, Gunter, you're not clear. You stay in shelter. Let me zoom out a little. Back to the which way the wind's blowing mode. And again, this thing's got a clear-cut circulation. This thing's got more attitude than I do when I have to go pay my taxes. This thing's got a nasty circulation now about 2 miles east of Preston Road 288. Oh, is that a tornado? Yeah, we got a tornado debris signature. All right, we've got a confirmed large tornado doing damage just northeast of Celina. We've got a tornado debris signature. Stand by. Let me switch back to this radar. Let me clear that. All right, let me tell you what we're looking at. Here's the radar. That's a debris ball, ladies and gentlemen. That's tornado debris being lofted thousands of feet into the air right there. The blue donut surrounded by a sea of red. The radar is able to determine it's not a hailstone, a hydrometeor. It could be pieces of buildings, vegetation, whatnot. But again, pretty big tornado now likely in progress just northeast of Celina approaching Weston. This is a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado doing damage with a debris ball. So again, those of you in Weston, be in a safe place now. Large destructive tornado just northeast of Celina, moving east towards Weston. We've got a debris ball now, debris going up at least 5,000 to 10,000 feet. This could be a strong tornado. So again, it's down again. This thing's got more attitude than I do going to the tax office. Large destructive tornado now northeast of Celina, southeast of Gunter. Weston, coming up to Weston. After that, it's going to ride 455 east towards Anna. Maybe Melissa. Those of you in Anna, Melissa, getting shelter. Van Alstyne, you're getting hit with the hail. Van Alstyne, hail, if this turns north, it'll impact you. But Van Alstyne, down 75 to Melissa. Anna needs to be in a safe place. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And yeah, I can type really fast. So again, tornado down, doing damage, tornado debris signature. That's that blue donut. We have tornado debris being lofted at least 5,000 feet, meaning we have a strong tornado in progress. That's going to be moving southeast down FM 455, very near the community of Weston. Now, east of Celina to Melissa, Anna. Van Alstyne, be in a safe place now. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. A large, dangerous tornado is in progress now. Just east of Celina on FM 455. This would be about 4 miles east of Celina. So Celina, you're probably going to be fine with this. But if you're east of Preston Road 455, that's where this big tornado is right now. 4 to 5 miles east of Preston Road on FM 455, about to move into Weston. That means this tornado is only 4 to 5 miles west of Highway 75 and Anna. Okay? So be in a safe place now. Yeah, this thing's giving me the bad data again. Ignore where that thing shows that. Stand by. I'll just switch over to this, and that should give me a better look. Okay, so here we go. Large destructive tornado. This thing is about clear-cut as it gets. Again, this is probably a pretty big tornado. The velocity mode, here you go. Violent, violent, violent look. So again, this is a significant tornado in progress now. We have winds moving towards the radar down Northern Love Field at 85 miles an hour. Winds moving away at about 60, 140, 150 miles an hour. This is likely an EF2 plus tornado. I don't say that to scare you. I say it so you understand the urgency in taking shelter. If you are in a sturdy site-built structure, the best place you can go, storm shelter. We don't have basements. something like that. Otherwise, hey, it's okay. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. All right, grab some hard sole shoes, grab some helmets for the family in case you have tornado debris flying around. You have to walk on debris after. Anna Melissa Van Alstyne, this is an urgent call to action. A large destructive tornado is down 4 miles west of Highway 75 on FM 455. This destructive tornado is moving east-southeast towards the cities of Anna and Melissa. You need to take your tornado safety precautions now. That's going to be the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Hard sole shoes and a helmet if you got them handy. Otherwise, just get to shelter. It's okay. It's going to be okay. But you need to take this seriously. If you do what you're supposed to, it's going to be okay. Seriously. Even, big time tornadoes don't completely, level everything. You can still be perfectly fine just doing what you're supposed to do. So understand, if you are in Anna, Melissa, 455 west to Weston, you need to do what you're supposed to do, which is take your tornado safety precautions. We don't want anyone traveling on Highway 75 through Melissa Anna Van Alstyne, as a tornado could very well cross Highway 75 in the next several minutes, moving from west to east or east-southeast. And again, back to the velocities. Yes, we have a very strong circulation. We have a very well-defined hook echo here, and we have a tornado debris signature on the radar. At 11:30 p.m., a confirmed tornado was located just northeast of Celina, 9 miles north of McKinney, moving east at 40 miles an hour. Weston is in the path of this storm. Now Jason's east of Pilot Point. We're going to keep an eye on Jason's feed. All right. Some very bad news, I'm afraid. We've confirmed it sounds like the truck stop at Interstate 35 in Valley View, that one near FM 3002, did take a hit. A mass casualty incident's been declared. Now, that doesn't mean we have a high number of fatalities. It just means there's a lot of injuries. Mass casualty incident plan has been activated. We've got medical resources deploying from across the DFW Metroplex headed up to Valley View for a truck stop that took a hit. That includes the ambulance buses. One out of Flower Mound. I wouldn't be shocked if the one out of Fort Worth is going up there. A lot of people may be trapped. Let's put it that way. Scanner traffic, and again, what you might hear on the scanner traffic, these initial reports after something happens have to be taken with great caution. But again, it sounds like a lot of people could be trapped right now. And by a lot, the initial reports are well into the double digits. Now, that doesn't mean we have double-digit injuries or fatalities. It just means we got big problems from this tornado back in Valley View, where it crossed Interstate 35 at FM 3002, that truck stop. It's not good. And for that information, we're going to rely on DFW Scanner. But again, those of you in Weston, you need to be in a safe place. That's the lowest floor, center room, away from windows now. Anna to Melissa to Van Alstyne. This tornado has caused a great deal of damage on I-35 near Valley View. We've got vehicles thrown from the interstate. It sounds like we have multiple entrapments. It sounds like a truck stop got hit, and we have big problems there. We got crews from all over the Metroplex responding to Valley View right now to help with that. So again, this storm could have another one of these big tornadoes down near Weston. And the only reason I'm spending time telling you about the damage right now is to convey to you the urgency of this situation. This storm could be a killer storm. These tornadoes may have killed people tonight in North Texas. So take it seriously, all right? I don't want anybody on 75 I don't need some bonehead thinking they can go beat the storm, driving on 75 again, flown or thrown, whatever, thrown halfway to Sulphur Springs. All right, we're not doing this. Take shelter, and it'll be okay. If you have to spend 30 minutes waiting before going on the highway, that's better than getting thrown off the interstate, hurt or killed or mangled. Manged, there's the word I'm looking for. So again, those of you in Anna, Melissa, Van Alstyne, be in a safe place now. Lowest floor, center room, away from window. FM 455, 3 miles west of Highway 75 is where this tornado looks to be right now. And again, this thing is bad. Understand, this is a very strong velocity signature. I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm saying that to convey the urgency that we could have a big tornadoes here. Now, 3 miles west of Highway 75, moving east. I'm going to do something I don't normally do here. One of the benefits of being a good friend with DFW Scanner is you have their phone number. I want to get a quick report. But again, those of you in Anna, Melissa, you need to be in a safe place. Is that Lone Oak Road 3002, that truck stop there? Yeah, that's it. I know exactly what it is. All right. Someone said the numbers were quite high. Do you have that number for entrapments? Okay. All right. That's what I figured. All right. Thank you, sir. All right. You're going to want to pull up Anna, I'm afraid. All right. Bye. All right. We got reports of damage now just northeast of Celina. That was from DFW Scanner. Thank you to them.
A new tornado warning has been issued for Collin, Fannin, Grayson, and Hunt County in Texas.
Okay, so this thing's down. We've got reports of damage northeast of Celina now. Initial resources are en route. Back in Valley View, we've got probably between 10 to 20 people injured. Haven't heard of any critical injuries or fatalities at this point. But again, that tornado did a lot of damage. It sounds like it hit the truck stop there at Lone Oak Road. The Shell Station, the big thing where if you're going north on 35, you cross into Cook County, make a quick right, then a quick left jog on 35. You got the Travel Plaza there, northeast side of the interstate. It got hit, is what it sounds like. A large, destructive tornado is likely in progress now near County Road 209, just south of FM 455. This will be crossing Highway 75 in the next 10 minutes. A tornado warning is now in effect for northeastern Collin County, Hunt County, southern Fannin County, southern Grayson County. This tornado warning does include Blue Ridge, Trenton, Leonard, Farmersville, Celeste, Merritt, Wolf City, Bailey, Trenton, no travel, and Westminster. Anna. Nobody should be going northeast on 121 right now from Highway 75 all the way to Trenton. So up pretty much no one on 121 between 69 and 75. No one on 78 between 380 and 121. No one going west on 380 out of Greenville. Well, let's say this. I wouldn't want to be on 380 when this thing gets closer to Greenville, if it moves that way. This storm is moving east at 35 miles an hour. We've had multiple major tornadoes from this over the last hour and a half. We have injuries in Valley View. A truck stop got hit. 150 people were in the building when that truck stop got hit, and it sounds like some of them are trapped. So we've got multiple ambulances. One of the ambulance buses from Flower Mound going up 35 to I-35 in Lone Oak. That's where we were talking about earlier. That took a hit, a big hit. So again, I'm only telling you this to tell you we've got damage. Now let's get back to what's going on right now because that's what matters here. A large destructive tornado is in progress. This is coming up now on Highway 75 and County Road 283. This is going to be very near Anna. Anna, you need to be in shelter now. All right, I cannot say how urgent it is. Those of you in Anna, take this seriously and are in shelter now. This is about to cross FM 455 near Highway 75. So those of you at the Loves, the Flying J, you know, all that, there at 455 and 75 in Anna, all the way down to Melissa, you need to be in a safe place now. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Again, we've got winds moving away from the radar now at about 60 miles an hour. No, I'm sorry, 65 miles an hour, moving towards the radar at about 65 miles an hour. Those of you need to be in a safe place now, all right? We're not playing with this tonight. This thing's already caused many injuries and a lot of damage all the way back to near Bowie. This thing's been a long-track supercell. When I said earlier today, if we could have some of these storms track over long distances, this is what I meant. And it's not good. Looks like Jason Cooley, he's still trying to get east to catch up with this thing. Again, here's the velocity. Coming up on Highway 75 near FM 455, south and west sides of Anna. This is going to cross over the West Outer Loop Road, West Foster Crossing Road, Highway 75, FM 455. Be in a safe place now. This storm will continue moving east-southeast. This storm could have golf ball, baseball size hail, damaging straight line winds north of the tornadic circulation. Tornadic circulation near Anna, moving towards northeast sides of Melissa, Anna itself, and after that, this thing's going to be taking a jog down towards Blue Ridge, Westminster, Chambliss. This is going to cross 121, probably around Westminster to Melissa. If you are in Blue Ridge, Westminster, Anna, Melissa, you need to be in a safe place now. That'll be the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Hard sole shoes, a helmet to protect yourself and your family if you have flying debris. Don't have any of that? That's okay. Just go into the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. In a sturdy site-built structure. Okay, here's the radar. You can see nasty hail core, Westminster to Van Alstyne moving towards Trenton. Tornado approaching Highway 75 near Anna and Melissa. So please be in a safe place. If you are in Celina, you're clear. Prosper, you're clear. Gunter, you're clear. Weston, you're clear if you're west of Weston, but I'd stay in shelter if you're in and just east of Weston. This thing's still really close to you. Hi, dog. How's life? Okay. So again, storm with a confirmed tornado. Very near Anna, Highway 75, within a mile of 455. It may be just south, it may be just north. Either way, it's going to cross 75, and then it's going to cross Highway 5 between the Outer Loop Road and White Street. Thereafter, it's going to cross 121 towards Westminster. And again, I want to emphasize, do not take it completely and utterly literally the locations I just said. You need to be in a safe place. For what is that? Are we seeing two circulations with this again? Again, this could have nasty hail, nasty wind, and tornado. And again, let's make sure we're not missing anything. This is the only storm in the stinking state. We're going to have more storms tonight out in the Concho Valley, the big country. There may be some hail with that. Only storm in the state here. For what it's worth, anybody up in northeast Oklahoma, there's a violent tornado northeast of Claremore, Oklahoma, that just crossed the turnpike northeast of Tulsa. That's just bad. So again, they've got a nasty storm with a big tornado. We've got a nasty storm with tornadoes. About to cross I-35 near Anna and Melissa. Again, urgent call to action to be in shelter in Anna and Melissa. We've been saying it now for quite a while. Winds moving away from the radar in Burleson at about 60. Winds moving towards the radar at about 60. Big, bad, very mad. Moving east-southeast. 25 to 35 miles an hour. You can see the hail core, maybe quarter to tennis ball size hail. Westminster, Van Alstyne, Trenton, Leonard. Tornado threat moving towards Melissa, Blue Ridge, maybe Westminster. Anna, please be in a safe place. The lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. If we have a tornado, it's probably very near Anna right now to Melissa. All right, let's go back to the TDFW radar, see if this works for us now. Okay. So again, we're just looking to see if we can see anything here. This gives us a closer look. And again, this storm is going to be moving towards Leonard, Celeste, Wolf City, Blue Ridge, north of Farmersville, Merritt, and eventually perhaps close to the city of Greenville. That's still about 45 minutes away, though. Time now 11:45. At some point, this thing's going to start weakening. But for now, it hasn't, and we've had tornado after tornado after tornado now for 2 hours, all the way back to 287 and Bowie, across far northern Metroplex. And now this thing is on 75, coming up to Anna in Westminster. Meteorologist Jason Cooley is doing his best to try to catch back up with it. So far, it's a losing battle. He documented the tornado crossing I-35 at Lone Oak Road, FM 3002. Oh, yeah, that is the truck stop. Yeah, I just saw a picture from the truck stop 35 in FM 3002. That thing's almost leveled. That's what it looks like. All right, so again, those of you in Anna, Melissa, if we have a tornado down, it is now approaching Highway 75 near FM 455 to the Outer Loop Road, Foster Crossing Road. FM 362, 344. So we'd advise no travel north of the 75-121 split all the way up to Howe at this point. This thing's moving east-southeast. Oh, I think it may have a tornado with it again. Yeah, those of you in Anna, Melissa, really, please be in shelter. Really. If there's a tornado, it's going to move into both communities in the next several minutes from the west. So please be in a safe place. Again, lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Again, hard sole shoes, helmet if you got one handy. Otherwise, just get to shelter. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. There's the latest scan. Tornado again approaching Interstate or Highway 75 at the Collin County Outer Loop. That's a mile south of 455. So the 455, you've got the cute or the Loves, the Flying J, the truck stops, the fast food. This might be just a mile south of that. We'll see. What is that? We might be starting to see a second circulation form closer to Blue Ridge. We're going to have to keep an eye on that. We may be seeing a new circulation form closer to Blue Ridge. But again, probable tornado about to cross Highway 75 near the outer Collin County Loop. Moving east-southeast at 35 miles an hour into Melissa, into Anna. So please be in a safe place. You need to be in a safe place if you're in Blue Ridge, Westminster, Anna, Melissa. All right, back to the how hard it's raining mode. This storm moving east-southeast at about 35 miles an hour towards Blue Ridge, Westminster, Celeste, Merritt, Desert, Blue Ridge. Please be in a safe place. If you're in Weston, you're clear. Oh boy, that's not what I wanted to see. You see how almost we have a bounded weak echo region here? Almost like the hook wrapped in on itself. Like right there. We might have a tornado right there. And then for what it's worth, I think we may have a new circulation trying to form closer to Blue Ridge right here. This may be one of these cyclic handoffs. We're starting to see a signature here near Blue Ridge, just west of Blue Ridge, and a signature right on Highway 75 near FM 455 and the Outer County Loop. So again, those of you in Melissa, Anna, please be in a safe place in case we do have a tornado down. If we do, it's between 455 and the Outer County Loop, moving east, east, southeast into both Anna and Melissa. It'll then cross over Highway 5. We may have a new circulation, perhaps trying to begin developing a little further southeast towards Blue Ridge. Regardless, even if we don't, the first circulation is going to move that same way area. But again, those of you in Anna, Melissa, you need to move to a safe place. If you're in Weston, you're clear. This is now east of Weston on Highway 75. We may have a second circulation developing now closer to Blue Ridge, further east. Regardless, this storm as a whole is going to be moving. Oh, that's not what I wanted to see. Again, there really is a strong indication we have a tornado between 455, the outer Collin County Loop Road on Highway 75. Hopefully it's on the weaker side. I'll say this, the velocities aren't crazy strong with this right now, which is not any sort of an indication that, you shouldn't take this seriously. We've got reports of homes damaged, trees down 3 miles northeast of Celina. That's going to be from a tornado a bit earlier when this was back over Preston Road, Highway 289. All right, it just did that to me. That was pretty rude. Let's switch back to this. So again, possible tornado near FM 455, the outer Collin County Loop. For what it's worth, Interstate 35 is probably going to be closed for a while around the Den-Cook County line. If you look at Google Maps, you'll see what I mean. Yeah, we're starting to see, we got new circulation starting to develop here. All right, let's zoom out a bit. I'm going to switch back to the Fort Worth radar. We're starting to get a little far away from the terminal Doppler weather radars. Let's go ahead and reset, talk about what we've got going on. The time now is 11:54 p.m. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Baldy-in-Chief David Reimer. We've been covering a localized tornado outbreak the last 2.5 hours. We've had significant tornadoes move from east of Bowie all the way across I-35 near Valley View to near Celina to now near Anna and Melissa. Not a continuous tornado track, but we've had multiple significant tornadoes. We've got major damage on I-35 in Valley View. We had a truck stop hit. That building's pretty much leveled. We got injuries there. We've got tornado damage just northeast of Celina now from an earlier tornado. We have one circulation near Anna on I-30 or Highway 75. That is starting to weaken. We have a new circulation starting to develop near Westminster. This is going to be a bit further northeast. So we have two circulations right now. One very near Highway 455 and 75. Second new circulation developing near Westminster. Both of these could have tornadoes at any time. We're going to have to watch it carefully. This is the cyclic handoff process where one circulation starts to diminish. Then we have a new one develop northeast. Towards Westminster. We just saw a picture of a large tornado northwest of Melissa from about 5 minutes ago. So again, this thing was a tornado at least 5 minutes ago, northwest of Melissa. Moving towards Anna, that circulation is starting to weaken. There still could be a tornado there. We may have a new circulation developing closer to Westminster now. To be completely honest with you, we're seeing a couple circulations, one near Blue Ridge, one near Westminster, one near Anna. All these moving east-southeast at about 35 miles an hour. It just goes to show you we're dealing with a very volatile environment. I'm not saying all of those are tornadoes right now, but we've had multiple tornadoes over the last 2 hours in parts of North Texas. So again, Westminster being a safe place, Anna, Melissa continue to be in a safe place. At least, let's say this, Anna being a safe place, Melissa, this is probably going to go north of you. Anna being a safe place, Westminster being a safe place, Blue Ridge being a safe place, Trenton, you're getting hailed on, Leonard, you're getting hailed on, Celeste, you may have an issue with rotation here sooner rather than later. Jason's trying to catch up with it. Looks like he is approaching Highway 75, a few miles west of 75 on 455. So he's trying to get there, but this thing's been outrunning him quite a bit. So again, Blue Ridge being shelter, Westminster being shelter, Anna, Melissa, or at least Anna be in shelter. Melissa, you should probably be fine. But again, we've got a pretty nasty circulation that's developed over Blue Ridge now. We've had a circulation near Westminster. I'll be honest, chaotic situation right now. We have multiple circulations trying to become dominant here, but we clearly still have the potential for issues. Eastern Collin County about to move into western Hunt County, southwestern Fannin County. There's the latest scan. That thing over Blue Ridge just really spun up. You can see that Blue Ridge circulation spun up. So those of you in Blue Ridge, you need to be in a safe place now. The potential for a tornado in or near Blue Ridge right now. This thing translated east very quickly. So if you're in Blue Ridge, be in a safe place. Celeste, be in a safe place. Merritt, be in a safe place. Again, we could have a tornado down with this thunderstorm near Blue Ridge. We've had a circulation near Westminster. But it looks like the dominant circulation now is going to be this one near Blue Ridge. Anna, that circulation has really weakened the last few minutes. So Anna, Melissa, you're looking better right now, but still stay in shelter for at least another 5 to 10 minutes. Blue Ridge, we could have a tornado approaching Highway 78, very near Blue Ridge right now. So FM, or Blue Ridge and West Blue Ridge Drive. We could have a tornado down near Blue Ridge. Let me switch over to the terminal Doppler weather radar, see if we can't get a better look at this. We can't because it hates me. Let's try this one. There you go. We'll switch to the velocity. And again, you can kind of see it right here around Blue Ridge. Be in a safe place. Let me see if I can get TDFW to work for me. No, fine. We'll go back to Fort Worth radar. Again, those of you in Blue Ridge, be in a safe place. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. This is going to be moving towards Celeste. Celeste. If you're in northwest Hunt County near Celeste, northwest of Greenville, safe place. You're the next urgent call to action. This could be another tornado developing now. So, Anna, Melissa, you're probably okay now. That circulation dissipated or is about to be gone with a new tornado developing near Blue Ridge. That's going to be moving east-southeast towards Celeste and Merritt. So again, if you are in Blue Ridge, Celeste, or Merritt, you need to be in a safe place now. An urgent call to action. The potential for a tornado in progress. Very strong velocity data coming in off some of these radars. Here you go. You can see as we switch over to this, very, very strong velocity coming in off the terminal Doppler weather radar now that it is midnight on the 26th of May. This is going to be near Blue Ridge, Highway 78, south of 121, north of 380, moving east-southeast towards really Celeste and Merritt. You need to be in a safe place. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Yes, if this keeps up, it could eventually try to make a run at areas north of Greenville. So again, you be in a safe place. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Okay, we've got reports of major damage at Marina Circle near Lake Ray Roberts Marina. We've got multiple RVs that have been hit. We've got people trapped, search and rescue ongoing. So again, this is what I was afraid of back at Ray Roberts Lake. We've got RVs hit, RV park hit. We've got people trapped, search and rescue. So again, this storm has caused major damage and injuries all the way back to I-35, if not west to almost 287. This is going to be a tornado now near Blue Ridge, moving southeast towards western Hunt County. Those of you in Anna, Melissa, Westminster, you're clear. Those of you in McKinney, you're clear. Van Alstyne, you're clear. Desert, you're clear. Westminster, you're clear. Melissa, Anna, you're clear. 75, you're clear. If you were on 78, you're not clear. You stay in a safe place. If you were, nobody and their mama should be on Highway 34 right now going out of Greenville. Highway 69 going out of Greenville up towards Celeste and Leonard. No travel on 67 between Leonard and Greenville. Don't go north out of Farmersville. Don't go northeast out of Farmersville. Don't go north out of off 380 up. What is that road right there? Fine, we'll just use this map. Don't go north on 36 off 380 towards Merritt. Merritt, you need to take your tornado safety precautions. We want no one on FM 36 right now. The potential for a tornado very near Blue Ridge, moving southeast at 35 miles an hour. We'll go back to the main radar. We'll put some storm tracks on this. Try to give y'all a bit of a heads up. You can see we've definitely had a reorganization in storm structure here. Notice we've actually got a little bit of a flanking line that's developed back southwest towards McKinney. That's just some heavy rain, maybe some pea-sized hail. This storm moving into Hunt County, it almost looks like we've had a new updraft go up over Farmersville that's being ingested into the inflow region of this thunderstorm. I'm going to loop this real quick. I'm just trying to keep a bit of a situational awareness over the mesoscale environment here. Stand by. You can see how we've had here, I'm going to turn off the loop. It looks cool and pretty, but it takes some of the effects out. Yeah, we've had multiple updrafts go up, being ingested into the inflow region of this thunderstorm. Now, I can do one of two things. I can actually jumpstart a circulation and get higher tornado risk than we've already had, or it can disrupt it. I'm hoping it's going to disrupt it, but it may also drag it a little further south to Greenville. We're going to have to watch for new circulations closer to 380 with this. So that's our little situational awareness. All right, I'm going to have to reset the radar. Again, Blue Ridge, you need to be in shelter. Possible tornado on FM 981 just east now of Highway 78. That's going to be moving to the southeast towards Greenville. We're getting reports out of Lake Ray Roberts now that someone is trapped under an RV that was lofted / flipped / rolled. All right, dog, hold on. I'll let you out. All right, my apologies. It's 12:05 a.m. Probable tornado underway just southeast of Blue Ridge now. This is going to be moving towards Merritt, Celeste, areas northwest of Greenville in Hunt County. We've got a storm over McKinney to Farmersville. That in itself is not severe, maybe some small hail damaging winds. Yeah, there really is a strong indication we have a tornado just southeast of Blue Ridge. So again, please be in a safe place if you're southeast of Blue Ridge. That'll be the lowest floor. Center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. This storm is moving southeast at 35 miles an hour. We'll put a storm track on this. Again, I'm just going to be cautious here and do a relatively wide berth. And again, I'm just going to do 35 miles an hour. It may be a little slower. This could be near the city of Greenville by 12:30. Campbell, 12:40. Commerce, 12:35. Wolf City, 12:15. Could approach Sulphur Springs by 1 a.m. if it keeps on its present track. Now, it's going to weaken at some point. I can promise you that. It's just, when is that going to happen? It's not happened yet. We are having some storm scale interference. We're having some new storms go up over Farmersville, being ingested into the inflow region. But regardless, we could have golf ball to baseball size hail about to cross over Leonard and Celeste on Highway 69. Strong rotation continues southeast of Blue Ridge, moving towards Greenville and Merritt. Let me see if we can't get a better look at this. Again, that rotation in proximity or just east of Blue Ridge, moving to the southeast at about 30 to 35 miles an hour. You're going to need to be in a safe place. That'll be the lowest floor. Center room, away from windows. And again, those of you in Merritt to Celeste, to Leonard, please be in a safe place. If you are in Westminster, you're clear. Desert or Desert, you're clear. If you're in Blue Ridge west of Highway 78, you're clear. Anna, Melissa, McKinney, Princeton, Farmersville, you're clear. Again, we don't have y'all are clear from this. And again, we've got I-35 is blocked on the Denton-Cook County line. We have search and rescue underway there. A truck stop got hit. We have, it sounds like, probably an injury count somewhere in the dozen range. No reports of serious injuries or fatalities out of there. We've had a major tornado strike near Roy Roberts Lake, near Pilot Point. We've had people trapped under RVs. There are probably injuries there. We've got major damage northeast of Celina where houses got hit and trees are down. We don't know much about that yet. We could have damage around the Blue Ridge area. With this, we had a report of a tornado northwest of Melissa near Weston a bit earlier. There's probably damage there. And then this thing could have a tornado east of Blue Ridge now. This is going to be moving into western Hunt County shortly. Those of you in Merritt, those of you on... Let's do this. I'm just going to use this. Those of you on FM 36, you need to be in a safe place. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. All right, so those of you east of Blue Ridge, FM 36, FM 1562, Frog Knot, 981, 1562 east of Celeste. That got stronger. If you're on FM 981, FM 1562, FM 36, FM 981. Again, 981 going east out of Blue Ridge, Frog Knot towards 1562 in Celeste. 36 north of Merritt up to 981 and 1562, Hunt County. You need to be in a safe place. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Hard sole shoes. Grab some helmets if you got them handy. If not, that's okay. Just go take shelter. This thing's doing some weird storm scale evolution stuff right now. We'll switch back over to the the Fort Worth radar. Norman's a little far away for this. We'll take a look at the velocity. And again, we were looking from a radar down here off the Sam Rayburn Tollway, east of the Louisville Dump Hill of Doom. Let's take a look at the reflectivity. Again, we got a pretty big blob here now. We don't have that clear-cut hook echo. We've got a lot of updrafts going up here, which is either going to help the it will weaken the circulation, or it may actually enhance it. Regardless, hopefully, this is the beginning of at least some transition to, less tornadic behavior at some point soon. But we could very easily still have a tornado down on, again, tornado down east of Blue Ridge on FM 981, moving towards FM 36, and then FM 1562 towards Celeste. That'll be where it crosses Highway 69. Again, you can see very strong circulation here on FM 981 east of Blue Ridge, moving towards Frog Knot, FM 1562, FM 36 out here between Blue Ridge and Celeste. Highway 69 going northwest out of Greenville to Leonard. No one should be on that. If you're on 78, you're clear. There are additional storms developing back to McKinney. Those are not tornadic, but they may have some strong winds and a little bit of hail. But again, we probably have a tornado down. It looks like. We're going to go back to this. Clearly, we're not because it hates me. I might just have to restart it. Again, very strong velocity. FM 90 or 981, about 4 to 5 miles east of Blue Ridge, moving towards FM 1562, and then Highway 69 near the city of Celeste in Hunt County. You need to be in shelter now. That'll be the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. All right, don't go looking for this thing. It's going to be wrapped in heavy rain and hail. You probably won't even hear it before it hits you. So please take this seriously and understand this has been a storm that has caused dozens of injuries, destroyed buildings, has lofted vehicles off Interstate 35, and it has a very strong couplet circulation right on the Hunt-Collin County line now. All right, we're going to go back. I'll show you.
A new tornado warning has been issued for Collin, Fannin, and Hunt County in Texas.
All right, so we're going to have a tornado warning now. This is going to go and include the city of Commerce, Ladonia, Wolf City, Celeste, Leonard. Does not include Greenville. So again, this is now a tornado warning for Naylandville, Commerce, Wolf City, Ladonia, Pecan Gap, Leonard, Celeste. This will be a tornado warning until 1 a.m. A possible tornado is located east of Blue Ridge, moving east on FM 981 and FM 1562, moving towards Highway 69 near Celeste. A very strong circulation here. This is going to be about 5 miles east of Highway 78, 5 miles west of Highway 69. This is riding FM 981, probably now near where FM 981 and FM 1562, 669 split. This is going to end up being very near Celeste in a matter of minutes, and this is a very strong indication of a tornado again. We're back to the range. We have winds moving away from the radar at 65. We've got winds moving towards at about... Here, I'll just do this. We got winds moving towards the radar at about 35. We got winds moving away at about 65, so about 100-mile-an-hour gate-to-gate couplet. And again, this is on FM 1562 coming up on... or 981 coming up on 1562, FM 36, and then it's going to ride 1562 almost all the way to Celeste on Highway 69. So you need to be in a safe place. It's going to be the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. We're going to have to watch for any indications of a new circulation developing farther south or southeast again. But again, this is going to be a tornado warning until 1 a.m. Southern Fannin County, Hunt County, and Eastern Collin County. This tornado warning includes the cities of Leonard, Celeste, north of Greenville on Highway 69, Naylandville, Commerce on Highway 224. This includes Wolf City on Highway 34. No travel on 69 between Greenville and Leonard. No travel on 34 between Greenville and Wolf City. Let's do this. No travel on 34 between Greenville and Ladonia. No travel on on Highway 224 from Naylandville to Commerce. Commerce, you're in this tornado warning. Ladonia, Wolf City, Naylandville, Celeste, Leonard, Merritt. Be in a safe place. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. You're looking at the velocity mode. This is the which way the wind's blowing mode in the radar. It allows us to see very clearly where a tornadic circulation is, and where you have the green and reds touching, that's where we have a possible, if not probable, tornado. Again, this is going to be on FM 981, moving east to FM 1562. where FM 36 intersects, and then it's going to ride FM 1562 all the way east to Celeste. This is likely now near Highway 36, probably within a mile of FM 1562. This may be just south of 1562. This may be closer to County Road 1096, riding 1096, 1089, 1098, 1023, 1094, 1092, 1091, 1088, FM 903, Celeste, Highway 69. You need to be in a safe place. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Hard sole shoes. Grab a bicycle helmet. Here's the how hard it's raining mode. You can see this thing would be wrapped in heavy rain, hail, strong damaging winds. It's going to be moving east-southeast at about 35 miles per hour. So again, please be in a safe place. Those of you, County Road 1096, west of Celeste, this thing continues to show very strong rotation again. I'm going to have to reset this radar program. Stand by. It gets a little buggy sometimes, and then it'll do that artifact display. All right. So again, oh, that's not even right. Ignore that for a second. My voice is not going to be happy tomorrow. Good news is we should be mostly quiet tomorrow. Well, later Monday, I guess. It's a Monday. All right. Let's talk about who's in, who's out. Celeste, you're in. Be in a safe place now. Circulation should stay south of Leonard, but to respect it, let's stay in a safe place if you're in Leonard. Merritt, this is your northeast. Celeste, it's coming up on you from the west-southwest. It may cross Highway 69 a mile or two south of FM 1562, but it's going to be close. It may be a little closer to FM 903. This will stay north of the city of Greenville by a good distance. This could eventually be an issue for Naylandville, the city of commerce, Wolf City, hail and rain, Ladonia. So again, this is a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. I want to make it abundantly clear, we have not had confirmed reports of a tornado with this in a little while. Hopefully it's starting to downtrend, but I'm not going to say that until we're done. But again, those of you in Celeste, you need to be in a safe place. The lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Hard sole shoes and a helmet. You can see we still have a strong area of circulation with this thunderstorm approaching Celeste. We have winds moving away from the terminal Doppler weather radar for the airports down at 121 in the Louisville Trash Hill, about 85 to 90 miles an hour. We got winds moving towards the radar, probably about 20, I'm guessing. Do I get a cookie? 20, 25. So again, still over 100 mile an hour. Gate-to-gate circulation just west of Celeste. We could have a tornado down here. It would be wrapped in rain. It would likely be near County Road County Road 1094, not 1093, 1096, east of FM 36. Is going to be moving towards Celeste, FM 903, Highway 69. We want everyone on 69. All the way from Celeste, south of Leonard, north of Greenville to be in a safe place. That'll be the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. No vehicles, no RVs, no cars, no mobile homes, no trailers. We already had RVs lofted and dropped on people back over Roy Roberts Lake, unfortunately. We have people trapped out there. So again, if you're in Celeste in western Hunt County, a possible rain wrap tornado is approaching your location. This tornado looks to be very close to Celeste now. It may be within a mile of town, coming in on FM 1562 from the west. Please be in a safe place if you're in Celeste. Lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. If you're wanting to know about damage reports out of these storms in North Texas, follow our partners over at DFW Scanner. They've been doing a good job of keeping updates on that. We've shared a few of them from time to time, but we're having to focus on the real-time weather. We can, do the whole damage thing after the fact, but that's one thing that has set us apart from news stations in the past or broadcast media. We focus on what's going on now. Yeah, we'll try to pass along some damage reports when we can, but we need to focus on what's going on now and not focus on what has happened. We'll have time to focus on what has happened when this is over. Okay, the good news is, and yes, there is some good news, the storm over Celeste is starting to weaken in terms of thunderstorm heights are down from 70,000 feet to 50,000 feet. The hail core weakening. The rotation is still quite there. But again, hopefully that means we're going to be done with this sooner than later. But it's still got an attitude. There could very well still be a tornado down near Celeste. Let's not make that any less clear than it should be. Those of you in Celeste better be in shelter. Tornado, probably very near town, coming in from the west on Highway 69. You can see the latest update there. We'll read that from the Weather Service. A tornado warning for Blue Ridge, Farmersville, you're clear. Collin County, you're clear. At 12:20 a.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located over Celeste, 15 miles northwest of Greenville, moving east at 30 miles an hour. This storm is located again near Celeste. It'll be near Commerce at 12:50 a.m. if it survives. Those of you in Celeste, we still have a very strong indication of rotation now coming up on Celeste, very near FM 1562 to FM 903. So what, about a 2-mile span from town to just south of town. You need to be in a safe place. After Celeste, this storm is going to continue tracking east towards White Rock. White Rock, a community north of Grapevine, a community north of Greenville. After that, Aberfoyle, and eventually the city of Commerce by 12:50 a.m. You're looking at the which way the wind's blowing mode here. And again, the colors in the red moving away from the radar, about 40 to 50, with colors in the green moving towards it, about 40, 90 mile per hour circulation. Oh, goodness. Could still have a circulation. We could still have a tornado here. I broke the radar. So again, very strong circulation still noted off the radar here near Celeste. No tornado debris signature, but very strong rotation. We're looking from the Fort Worth radar now. Terminal Doppler still has very strong rotation. We got winds moving away from the radar at about 35, moving towards at 60, so about 100 to 110 mile an hour gate-to-gate shear. With this thunderstorm, and again, here's the look from the Terminal Doppler weather radar. We're able to get a quicker, more localized view with this. This data is from about 45 seconds ago, so pretty rapid. So again, those of you in Celeste, south of Celeste, all the way down to FM 2194, east to White Rock, Commerce, Naylandville, Aberfoyle. You need to be in a safe place. That'll be lowest floor. Center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. We also have thunderstorms developing in the Concho Valley now, east of the dry line, which is not an issue for right now, but we may have storms farther west soon. With the potential for large hail and localized damaging winds. Okay, if we have a tornado, it probably is very near. Yeah, we're getting closer and closer now to FM 903, County Road 1088, 1089, 1087. And eventually we're about to cross over to Highway 69. For what it's worth, we're also seeing a bit of a new circulation developing further southeast on Highway 69. We have two here, it looks like. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. One circulation there, one circulation there. So we may have two circulations. One very near Celeste. The second circulation, that may be closer to County Road. I mean, well, honestly, maybe down closer to FM 2990 or 2194. So regardless, one or two tornadoes possible here right now. Be in a safe place if you're on Highway 69 north of Greenville up to Celeste. Leonard, you're going to stay clear from this. Bailey, you're fine. Ladonia, you're fine. Wolf City, you're fine. Naylandville and Commerce, White Rock, and Aberfoyle, you've got a problem. Celeste to Aberfoyle to White Rock to Naylandville to Commerce. You're the next under the gun with this. Let me zoom out. Let's not get too hyper-focused here. I need y'all to actually know where we're talking about. I realize if you aren't in this area, you probably have no idea. So let me zoom out. How hard it's raining mode. Severe storm. Wolf City to Celeste, west of Commerce, northwest of Naylandville. One of our storm chasers apparently got hit with igloo cooler debris falling out of the sky near Ray Roberts Lake earlier. They were near the Ray Roberts Lake Dam, and they had igloo cooler debris falling from the sky. That's not good, and that was earlier. So again, we could have a tornado crossing Highway 69, very near FM 2194. We may also have a tornado further north towards Celeste and FM 903. These circulations moving east. This southern circulation is definitely going to be a problem for Naylandville and Commerce. Celeste, you still have a circulation very near town as well. We're probably having one of these cycles occur where one circulation weakens, another develops, and clearly we're not done with this yet. So again, new circulation, new potential tornado developing over, well, now just east of Highway 69, about to cross Highway 34. This is going to be near White Rock, County Road 3427. This is moving towards Naylandville and Commerce. So again, we've had one circulation weaken now near Celeste. We have a new circulation developing west of Naylandville, moving towards Naylandville. So again, this is going to be our new tornado. That's going to be closer to the city of Greenville, but it's still going to be north of Greenville. This is going to be about 4 to 5 miles north of Greenville. So it's close, but it'll stay north of town. That's going to be moving towards Naylandville. So Naylandville, this is 5 to 6 miles northwest of Naylandville, moving towards Naylandville. This is going to be about 12 miles west of Commerce, moving east towards Commerce as well. So those of you in Naylandville, Commerce, north of Greenville, you need to be in a safe place. That'll be lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Leonard, you're clear. Farmersville, Celina, anyone back over like Blue Ridge, you're clear. Celeste, give it another 10 minutes and you'll be clear. But again, those of you in Naylandville and Commerce need to be in a safe place, especially if you are north and northeast of the city of Greenville. Another low-level circulation is developed here. It's not as intense as the ones we've seen earlier, but it is still strong enough to warrant attention and concern and may be capable of producing a tornado at any time. This is going to be moving east, southeast. They've got it moving right now at about 30 miles an hour to the east. So again, those of you north of Greenville to Naylandville and Commerce on Highway 24/224, you need to move to your safe places. A possible tornado now about to cross Highway 34, about 4 to 5 miles north of the city of Greenville. This is going to be moving east at 30 miles an hour, meaning those of you in Nalenville and Commerce are under threat from a possible developing tornado 4 to 5 miles north of the city of Greenville, moving east at 30 miles an hour. We don't want anyone on Highway 34. We don't want anyone on Highway 224/24 between the city of Greenville and Wolf City and the city of Greenville and Commerce. Okay, so Frisco Fire is sending a substantial response up to Celina for search and rescue damage operations. We've got resources from Denton County, Cook County. I wouldn't be shocked if at this point Tarrant County going up to Valley View. We've got problems in Pilot Point out by Ray Roberts Lake, where we've got RVs. A lot of things got hit. And now we could have a tornado crossing Highway 34 north of Greenville, moving east towards Nalenville and Commerce. This would be near County Road 1011, County Road 1002, about to cross Highway 34, County Road 4301, County Road 4300. County Road 4303, County Road 4306, County Road 4310, moving east towards Nalenville. Those of you in Commerce, Nalenville, north and northeast of the city of Greenville, need to move to your safe places. That'll be the lowest floor. Center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Hard sole shoes and a helmet would be a good idea if you got time. That rotation just got even stronger. So again, could have a tornado down on Highway 34 right now. Maybe 5 miles north of the city of Greenville. Back to the how hard it's raining mode. Again, this doesn't have the look it had earlier. The, well-defined hook. We transitioned to much more of a high precipitation supercell. I think the storm itself is slowly weakening, but it is still producing tornadoes. Back to the how or which way the wind's blowing mode. Again, this shows us the Doppler part of radar. We got winds moving away at 45 miles an hour, winds moving towards at 65. So we've got about 100 to 110 mile an hour gate-to-gate couplet now with this thunderstorm northeast of the city of Greenville, 5 miles northeast of the city of Greenville on Highway 34, moving east towards Nalenville and Commerce. Those of you in Nalenville and Commerce and everyone back west to Highway 34, north of the city of Greenville, you need to be in a safe place. That'll be the lowest floor. Center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Hard sole shoes and a helmet if you got one handy for you and your family. If not, that's okay. If you're in a sturdy site-built structure, lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. We don't want folks in trailers, mobile homes, vehicles, etc. Don't try going to look for this. This thing's probably hidden by heavy rain. And again, back to the which way the wind's blowing mode. You'll get an updated scan in just a second. Very strong velocity signature once again, but the latest scan weakened it. Now east of Highway 34, moving east towards Nalenville and Commerce. This thunderstorm definitely does have the potential to produce hail, maybe up to the size of quarters, damaging winds on Highway 11 from Commerce to Wolf City. Highway 34 from Wolf City to north of Greenville. Circulation a little weaker now. East of Highway 34 on County Road 4304. Still could have a tornado there, but it's a little weaker. All right, so let's zoom out. We have this storm kind of extends back to Farmersville now. Gusty winds and hail. The only circulation we're seeing with this, again, is now northeast of the city of Greenville by a good 7 miles. If you're in Celeste, you're clear. Celeste, you're clear from this. Leonard, you're clear. Greenville, you were never under the threat. Merritt, you're clear. Blue Ridge, Desert, Farmersville, Melissa, Anna, Weston, you're clear. So again, this storm's going to be moving east at about 30 miles per hour. Now, I'm hoping when this next scan comes in, this circulation will be completely gone. I am hoping that means we're starting to wind down here with this circulation. Stay in a safe place. If you're in Naylandville and Commerce, I'm not saying we're done. I'm not saying you should ignore this. You should come out. But hopefully, we may be starting to wind down. Since, it is almost 1 a.m. We're not typically doing tornadic supercells at 1 a.m. It doesn't matter what time of day it is, honestly. If the ingredients are there, the ingredients are there. So there's the new reflectivity scan. Again, not a classic supercell look in terms of low-level rotation. Let's see what the new velocity scan does. But again, this is the only severe storm we're dealing with right now. Now, that being said, I do want to point out quickly that it looks like we may have some new storms go up in the Concho Valley, the Big Country, over the next hour or two. Those could become severe with large hail and damaging winds and impact some of those areas. Not an issue for North Texas, at least anytime soon. And when things calm down here, I'll take a closer look at that. But we're not going to deal with that until we're done with this stuff here in North Texas. Okay, so it is 12:38 a.m. I'm Texas Storm Chaser's David Reimer. We have a possible circulation now just northwest of Naylandville, east of 34. Much less defined than it was earlier, which is good, but it's not completely gone. We got winds moving away from the radar, about 25 miles an hour. Winds moving towards the radar at about 40. So we're about 65 mile an hour gate to gate shear. It's a lot better than the 170 we had earlier. Those of you along and west of Highway 34, you're clear. You may have a little hail with this storm, but the rotation we're dealing with is near Naylandville to Commerce, moving east at 30 miles an hour. It has slowly been weakening over the last little while, though, but it is still present. It's a broad circulation now that could produce a quick spin-up tornado. So again, it is 12:40 a.m. Sunday, the 25th of May. No, I'm sorry, it's the 26th of May now, 2024. We have a thunderstorm capable of producing localized damaging winds, nickel to quarter size hail, and maybe a spin up tornado. Just north of Naylandville, moving east towards Commerce. The circulation definitely is starting to wind down for now, which is good. That weakening trend we've been waiting for all evening may now be underway. But I don't want to say the threat's completely over, but we're heading in a good direction. This still means those of you in Naylandville to Commerce need to be in a safe place. That'll be the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Hard sole shoes and a helmet. You got one handy. If not, it'll be okay. Let me go ahead. I'll put a loop on this just over the last hour to show you what we've had going on. This is going to take a minute to load. In fact, I'll try to load more. Let's see if I can get it to go back 2 hours. Again, we've been dealing with this now for a while. This is the which way the wind's been blowing mode over the last, about hour and a half. You can see we've had multiple circulations with this. We've had tornadoes all the way back to almost 287 east of Bowie, Montague County, Cook County, Denton County, Collin County, now into Hunt County. We've had major damage in parts of Valley View. We've had major damage near Celina. We've had major damage near Pilot Point, Ray Roberts Lake. We've likely had tornado damage in southwestern Cook County, southeastern Montague County, and we may very well have had some damage in northwestern and northern Hunt County. But notice, over the last 30 minutes, the circulation has really winded down, meaning I think we're about done with this. Tornado warning officially continues for another 17 minutes until 1 a.m. But the way things look now, I don't think they're going to issue another one, which is good. Those of you in Commerce to Naylandville, I would encourage you to remain in your safe places, but we're looking a lot better than we were a bit earlier. So again, lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And again, it's not impossible that this circulation ramps back up a bit over the next few minutes. We definitely need to remain quite vigilant. As this thunderstorm moves east towards Commerce, Naylandville, etc. Tornado warning continues for eastern portions of Hunt County until 1 a.m. Fannin County, you're clear. This is not going to be an issue for you. Fannin County, you're clear. Not an issue for you. If you're in Celeste, you're clear. Wolf City, you're clear. Greenville, never an issue for you, but you're clear if it makes you feel better. Those of you in Commerce to Naylandville, I'd encourage you to remain in your safe places for the next 15 minutes or so. This thunderstorm does still have a bit of a circulation, and a tornado warning continues through 1 a.m. for eastern Hunt County. We'll take a look back at the loop of the reflectivity. I'll just, show it over the last 3 hours. What ended up being a bad, bad night. It was only one storm, but that's all it took. Remember how before we had mentioned we may not have many storms? Well, we had several this afternoon, early this evening that generally weakened west of I-35.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Glasscock and Reagan County in Texas.
Again, those of you in Naylandville to Commerce, circulation in between both your communities coming up Highway 224 or 24 Please remain in your safe place. But again, it only took one storm. This storm evolved pretty quickly back in Montague County, took a hard right, and then took another hard right, and the result has been multiple significant tornadoes. Dozens of people have been hurt. We probably have dozens of properties that have been damaged or destroyed. I-35, as far as I know, is still blocked near Valley View because vehicles got lofted, people got hurt, a truck stop got hit, people were trapped. This storm then crossed Lake Ray Roberts with a tornado, a pretty strong one it looks like, hit a bunch of RVs on Memorial Day weekend. People trapped there. We probably have injuries. We don't know the specifics yet. We're not going to know the specifics probably until later today in that department. Areas around Celina took a hit. We have mutual aid responding to parts of Celina now with resources. And we've probably had tornadoes all the way from near Bowie, east of Bowie, through parts of southern Cook County, northern Denton County, northern Collin County, southern Grayson County, into western and northern Hunt County. So again, 35 is blocked. It's probably going to be blocked most of the night around Valley View. 75, as far as I know, is doing okay. Tornado may have dissipated before it got to Anna, but there was definitely a tornado west of Anna that came real close to town. And then we are still dealing with at least some circulation now on Highway 24/224, approaching the cities of Commerce and Nalenville. And we'll go ahead and go back to that now. And yes, there is a severe thunderstorm warning for a hail threat with a thunderstorm way back out west in the Concho Valley. This thunderstorm near Nalenville to Commerce, yeah, it does have some rotation still. It's not super tight or super organized, but it's there. We have winds moving away from the radar at about 30 to 35. We have winds moving towards the radar about 30 to 35, about 60 miles an hour. But I want to focus your attention here. Notice that this velocity couplet is spread out over miles now. Earlier, we had very bright reds against bright greens and blues. That's what we call gate to gate, but this is spread out. This is more broad, a mesocyclone. It's when those winds become gate to gate, bright green against bright red right next to each other is when we become more concerned. Yeah, this storm is still rotating. I mean, in this environment, even a shower would be rotating aloft. But hopefully that means this is not necessarily a tornado reaching the surface. And yeah, parts of Celina took a real hard hit. We're not going to know the ratings of the tornadoes, the exact widths, the paths, all that, probably until sometime Monday. And again, the injury counts, all that, those are going to fluctuate. We probably won't know most of that till later today.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Koch, Sterling, and Tom Green County in Texas.
So again, those of you in Commerce to Nalenville, we'd like you to give us a few more minutes of your time and please remain in a safe place. Hopefully, we'll continue to see weakening with this thunderstorm over the next 10 minutes, and we'll be able to get this warning out of here by 1 a.m. But for now, just given what's happened this evening, I'd ask for your indulgence, ask for a little patience, and just simply ask you to remain in your safe place. If you're around Commerce to Nalenville, that be your lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And again, some small hail, strong winds. We're going to be dealing with that with this storm still for a while. And we'll see if we have any intensification with it again. Again, still an interesting storm structure to it. A bit of an inflow notch over the city of Commerce as we take a look at this. Not as organized, but again, we still have some inflow into this and rotation. We've got winds moving away from the radar at about 40 to 45. We have winds moving back towards about 30. So the mesocyclone's still spinning at about 60 to 80 miles per hour near Commerce, northeast of Naylandville now. This is closer to the west sides of Commerce. Still could put a spin-up tornado down if this rotation were to tighten up quickly. And understand that's certainly possible. So again, those of you around Commerce, you need to be in a safe place. That'll be the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Just stay in shelter, give us another 10 minutes of your time, and then you can go back to bed. And yeah, we've got major tornado damage just northeast of Celina. Houses destroyed, kind of damage. That was a strong tornado. We've probably had 3 or 4 relatively long track, significant tornadoes tonight across parts of North Texas, unfortunately, and all this from one supercell. But again, hopefully this thunderstorm will continue to weaken. It's going to be moving out of northeastern Hunt County in the next several minutes into Hopkins County. We note this thunderstorm is shooting quite a bit of lightning all the way almost to Mount Vernon at this point, northeast of Sulphur Springs. A lot of cloud-to-ground lightning. And yes, the storm is still rotating. This storm still has some small hail with it. And it is still nearly 45,000 feet tall. I say nearly. That's tall, but it was 70,000 feet tall earlier. But it's still going. It may take a while for this to completely wind down, and we're going to have to keep an eye out just in case it tries to tighten up again, the rotation department. But a tornado warning does remain in effect for until 1 a.m. for the city of Commerce. Naylandville, you're clear. That's not what I wanted to see. See how that just tightened up right there? Just west of Commerce. So again, this thing just tightened up again. Those of you in Commerce, hey.
I'm done chasing.
Stay in shelter. That'll be the lowest floor, center room, away from window. Notice how this couplet just went from nothing back to ouch. That's why I was saying we need to keep watching this and that it may not be done. Well, it may not be done. We have winds moving 35 away, pixel to pixel, right up against about 55 to 60. So again, we have a nearly 100-mile-an-hour gate-to-gate coupling. Again, this is going to be just west of Commerce, near FM 512, maybe a mile northwest of Highway 224. So FM 512. And just west of Commerce. You need to be in your safe place. This is why we asked you to give us a few minutes, stay in your safe place. So it's going to be on FM 2874 near FM 512, the possibility of a tornado again. Pretty strong circulation, wound up real quick. So again, we were hoping it was done, but we were giving it time to make sure it was, and it wasn't. It was being a tricky little son of a gun. So again, quick circulation spin up. We could have a tornado down with this again, just west of Commerce. This is going to be near FM 2874 and FM 512, just west of Commerce. This is northwest of 224 and 178. This is going to move east towards Commerce. So those of you in Commerce, you need to be in a safe place. That'll be the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Go ahead and, if for some reason you didn't stay in it, you need to go back to your shelters now. We could have a tornado currently in progress now, maybe 2 to 3 miles west of the city of Commerce, northeast of Naylandville. This is going to be moving east towards Commerce. Now, we're about to get a new radar scan. Let's see if that circulation winded back down. Let's see now. Here's the latest scan. It winded down real quick. So again, whatever that was on the brief side. But we may have a tornado warning go past 1 a.m. now just because it did that. That was a pretty quick circulation. That may or may not have been a tornado that spun up real quick. But again, those of you in commerce, I'd encourage you to stay in shelter for now. That'll be the lowest floor. Center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. So again, Naylandville, you're clear. Commerce, you know what? This storm is still trying to do mischievous things near you. We'll see if the Weather Service extends the tornado warning here past 1 a.m. Now, real quick, yes, we have a new storm that's gone up in the Concho Valley. This storm southwest of Sterling City has strong winds and hail. I don't think these are going to be tornadic, but I'm not going to rule it out either because that would not be a good idea. I haven't actually had time to look at everything out here tonight. But typically this wouldn't be tornadic. I hope. But we're going to take a look at it in a minute. I'm not going to completely say that for sure. Those of you in commerce, go ahead and stay in shelter for a few more minutes. We'll see if they extend this tornado warning. If not, it's going to be gone here in about 3 minutes. But if they do extend it, it'll go into Hopkins County. And then we're going to take another look at the storms down the Concho Valley. I'm going to look at some data on my end right now to see what's going on out there tonight. That's a bit of a surprise, to be honest, but at this point, let's just not tell Mother Nature it's a surprise for anything. All right, coming up to 12:58 now. We don't have a new tornado warning yet. So maybe we're going to be done with this here in a few minutes. We shall see. We shall pray and we shall hope. But again, if there was a circulation still here, it would be now pretty much right over the city of Commerce. And this doesn't look super strong. I mean, yeah, there's some weak rotation here right now, but it doesn't look super strong. The tornado warning, ladies and gentlemen, has been allowed to expire. So that'll disappear off your screen in just a minute. Commerce, the tornado warning is being allowed to expire. You can go ahead and come out of your shelters. The tornado warning is gone. It'll officially disappear off the screen here in just a minute. The time now, 12:59 p.m. The tornado warning will be allowed to expire for the city of Commerce. Naylandville, you're clear. Now, we're going to keep an eye on this storm just in case it does something dumb, but we could still have some strong winds, a little bit of hail, and heavy rain. The tornado warning will disappear off the screen in about 10 seconds. And it'll be gone. And it's gone. So again, we now have no tornado warnings. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch for the Concho Valley. Storms out here developing over the next few hours could produce really big hail, localized damaging winds, but the tornado threat is very, very low. These are hailers, big hailers, it looks like, southwest of Sterling City. I mean, there's maybe baseballs to softball size of hail out here right now at 1 in the morning, but not a tornado. Damaging winds. The tornado warning for Commerce is gone. Let me switch over here. You're going to see some really dark satellite data for a second. And let's just look at what's happened over the last 6 hours across the state of Texas. Most of you haven't had a thing. It's been a hot, dry, a bit humid and windy day. We had storms in western North Texas, Texoma, northwest Texas earlier. We had a few tornadoes in, parts of the big country, northwest Texas, yesterday afternoon, Saturday afternoon. Had a little lull. A supercell on the western end of that convection in Montague County took off at about 8 to 9. And since then, well, here we are 3.5 hours later. After multiple long track major tornadoes, we have dozens of people that have been hurt. Dozens, if not hundreds, of properties that have been damaged or destroyed. From near Highway 287, southeast of Bowie, across Interstate 35, over northern Denton County, southern Cook County, near Valley View, northern Collin County, into northern Hunt County. We've had multiple tornadoes. We've got people trapped. We've got a lot of things that have been destroyed. Interstate 35 is blocked. Lake Ray Roberts has taken a direct hit, especially the north sides of the lake. Sounds like whole marinas have been obliterated. We've had campgrounds hit with people trapped under RVs that have been lofted and then dropped. And really, we won't know the full picture of what all has happened until later today after the sun comes up. The National Weather Service in Fort Worth for the tornadoes in North Texas this evening will do damage surveys. Those are probably going to take 2 to 3 days, given the fact it's occupied a near 100-mile track at times, the storm itself, not the tornadoes. We've got tornadoes that are going to have to be surveyed in parts of northwest Texas, the big country. Those will be the responsibilities of, the Fort Worth Weather Service, the San Angelo office, and the Norman office. And for what it's worth, we've had damaging tornadoes across parts of northeast Oklahoma tonight. We still do. Notice we still have tornadic supercells. One's about to impact Fayetteville, Arkansas. Another one, that one is passing... I don't want to know how close that is to Bartlesville, but it's close. That's another tornadic supercell. That could have a tornado still down at, 1 in the morning. Same thing goes for a storm about to cross into Arkansas. There's a big tornado down not all that far west of Bentonville in Fayetteville. Back in Texas, our storm in northern Texas near Commerce is weakening. The tornado warning is gone. But we have nasty hailers that have fired up in the Concho Valley near Sterling City. Those could have softball-sized hail with them. Tornado risk is very low, but not zero. So here, let me take one more look at the storm near Commerce. And again, the tornado warning is gone. The storm is finally weakening. The damage has been done. We've had people hurt. And yet another bad tornado day across the state of Texas. The good news is, ladies and gentlemen, unless something drastically changes, we should not have to do that again today. It looks like today, after, some of these storms this morning in the Concho Valley, the big country, which could have hail, and yes, some of those may make it towards the hill country in North Texas by sunrise. Maybe. But the good news is, for all of that, those shouldn't at least be dropping tornadoes. But if for some reason they do, we'll be here. But later today should be quiet, and hopefully the next several days will be less active in the thunderstorm department, although admittedly it is going to be a wet week. once we get into midweek and onward, we're going to set up for a pretty wet pattern. Looks like we're going to set on up for the potential of multiple days of heavy rainfall. In fact, I'll just go ahead and stop this. I'll clear everything off this screen. And this is the 5-day rain forecast. That's not it. Hold on. That's the 5-day rain forecast. So we're looking at some needed, but at times heavy rain across portions of Oklahoma, Texas, into the hill country. This is west of, areas that got hardest hit this month. The Brazos Valley, East Texas. This is in areas where we actually do need a bit of rain. We don't probably need this much, but some folks out, especially in the hill country, we need to fill some lakes up. So this will help. This will get water flowing again, but could also be some flooding, and we may have some opportunity for severe storms again, maybe beginning Tuesday, but hopefully Sunday and hopefully Monday will be mostly less active. That being said, we'll be here. We'll be keeping an eye on things. It's what we do. It's been a very busy year. It's been a very busy last 5 weeks. We've had a few days here and there without having to do much, but boy, it's been something. So, unfortunately, another bad night across portions of North Texas, all the way from just southeast of Bowie and Highway 287, all the way east to northeast of Greenville, with multiple strong tornadoes. We've got major damage. Dozens of people have been hurt. All you can do is pray, and we'll see what happens later today after the sun comes up. Search and rescue mode operations are still underway. It's not the time to go looky-looing, that's for sure. All right, folks, here's what we're going to do. We're going to keep an eye on things here, and if we need to, we'll come back. But as it stands now, the Hunt County storm is weakening. The tornado warning is gone. I really hope you don't have to see us again today, but if something happens, we'll be here to help you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in tonight. Our prayers go out to those impacted by the tornadoes. Sorry you had to go through that, but I hope at least you're all right. All right, thank you for joining us. Y'all hopefully have a good rest of your night and a good rest of your Sunday. God bless.